The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
I would like to thank, before I go any further, on this penultimate anniversary episode. Wait.
That's wrong.
Okay. I won't even try. I don't want to Raid Shadow anymore today. I would just like to thank my buddy Sheetsy and Cromcast Josh for being so fucking generous and making my hospital stay hopefully move a little more faster. Thanks, dudes. You guys are rock and roll stars. And welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Zombies. You're listening to Trick or Treat Radio, starring the Deadites.
Welcome to episode 262 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is a phantasmagorical spin kick straight through the heart of pop culture. Navigated by the Deadites. The Deadites are the world's greatest electroshock band. We destroy monsters, we drink booze, we win championship belts, and apparently we continue after we do 5 years.
So would the penultimate one be the one before that?
The penultimate is the last before, like the second to last.
Right, so 158.
158?
358. I'm going to stop.
Well,
My powers went away with my beard.
well, that would be the one before the last episode. We're not near the last episode yet. I mean, as far as I know.
Right.
Show just beginning.
This could be the last episode for all we know.
Might be my last episode.
It could, all depends on what happens to us in the next week.
I did have to have and I don't think he cared or listened, but I did have to have a vocabulary class with Monster Zero this week because I thought he was dying.
You thought he was dying?
Yes.
Was I?
Yeah. Well, no, you weren't. But
good.
But you had a juggernaut level of news, and you actually.
Yes.
Yeah. While this news is probably awesome, I don't know that by definition it qualifies as juggernaut level.
I mean, this is it's personal. It's something that.
What, you have some personal news?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was personal nudes.
After last week, I don't want those.
I'll be passing those out later in the week.
Ooh.
You'll find them under the windshield wipers of your cars.
That'd be a nice 4x6.
Wait, are the balls in it too?
Yeah.
Well,
10 by 13.
Makes a big difference.
Tiny never had the fucking stomach for it, but I had an idea once of doing a series of like nudes. But like me on like a bear skin rug, or me like riding like a horse, like
Burt Reynolds in Cosmopolitan magazine,
but leaving them all over Ethan McGloofabitz's house because I still had a key, but not like hiding them, like putting like a framed picture of one up with the rest of his framed pictures, and like just like mounting one like on the wall like in his house, and like leaving one in his office just to see how long it took him to.
Like Nana.
Your
Nana.
mother,
And then Dynamo's Brajol.
Right. No, classic.
Like Bob Chase.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. But Tiny wouldn't take the pictures.
So, yeah, we did have the 5-year show. I think this one will be a little bit more low-key. We had a lot going on last week. I think everyone's voicemailed
Chris
out.
Candido.
Not that low-key.
Yeah.
I think everyone's voicemailed out. We only got a couple, so we'll kind of lay low. We actually do have a guest. I don't know if you guys knew. We have a guest coming up in just a little bit.
Do we?
Really?
Yeah. It's not really a surprise, but I'll keep it a surprise.
It's a surprise to me.
I haven't announced it, and it came together late. So,
Does any of us know?
Does any of us know?
Thanks.
I think I know.
Oh, no, but like us on this side.
Hopefully
The royal us.
if I kick the bucket, at least I'll know that I didn't know.
Oh shit! Julie Meow Meows is in the chat room, and I don't think she wants what she's asking for. She said Trick or Treat Radio photo calendar.
Yes.
Yes, you want one?
Yeah.
So you can look at yourself?
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
broken,
Christ.
No, I can
twisted
look at-
individual.
We'll get like a. So there's only 4 of us. We would each get what?
3
like,
months.
Yeah, we'd each get 3 months. Raven Shadow will get the Stimmy Dent
What?
picture. You use your Stimmy Dent.
Yeah, I think it'd be like I do like a series. It'd be like
Smoking.
like in the morning.
Maybe one smoking,
And one drinking.
and then smoking and drinking in one, and then maybe the other one you'll be on the edge of your bed, with your elbows on, your feet up in the air, reading comics.
Reading comics.
Yeah,
That'd be sexy.
Yeah,
Just
like this.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This calendar sucks. Julie Meow Meow, press that star button 0 times.
Can Oliver be in the shot? We'll be like, this is what
Oh
I do.
yeah. He could be
This
in.
calendar's now weird.
This calendar is now Kuso.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Be outrageous.
Speaking of 0 stop, I just want to say, just in case I get angry and stab you with a plastic fork later, that
Yeah.
I have a Leatherman.
yeah.
Don't offer that.
If
Jeez.
that ends up being the last movie I watch for Trick or Treat Radio, I'm fucking haunting the shit out of you.
or on Earth.
If I die,
Jesus Christ, Raven Shadow.
I'm just saying, it was
Holy shit, that's dark.
I'm mad too.
yeah, I am like.
It's dark.
and
We're
I'm
already kind of giving away the
I'm not gonna be
your,
the
your
gentleman
opinions
ghost.
of this movie. We
anyone
haven't
that saw this, like I saw the trailer and knew his opinions of this movie.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, partner.
you're welcome. I also saw the trailer and was pretty sure I knew the opinions of you of this for you, which made me more pissed as I was watching it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm actually really excited to see what MZ has to say about this fucking flick. Raven Shadow's pissed.
Fucking so upset.
You're pissed.
Go have a smoke,
This
dude.
is
You'll feel
Dynamo's-
better.
This is Dynamo's last movie.
It's not his last movie. Shut up.
No, this is what you know.
That's really dark, man.
Couldn't
be.
I wish we watch fucking Darkman. Wouldn't that be fun? If we watched Darkman.
I'll be watching at the big Metroplex in the sky.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's nice. Yeah, really comfortable seating, but that's what
So
it
yeah,
costs.
4K resolution, 3D, front row seat, man.
At,
Smack dab in the middle.
Right. At 12, that's not how my theater in heaven is. I have a broken seat on either side of me, sticky floors, and a vague smelling of piss, like the old
There you
theater
go.
downtown.
There you
where I saw
go.
Krull and
We have two
Predator
guys jerking
and-
off on on either side of you.
well, no, that's a different theater that was around the
Whoa.
corner.
That
I've
was
a-
a Paris Cinema.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have an awesome.
I'd be
Paracinema.
one of them. I'd be one of them. Wolfie would be the other.
I would not.
No, that's fucking dark, Johnny.
yeah, that is dark. I like the other one
will you
better.
stop acting like you're so above everything else?
I'm
Gee,
a,
we
I'm
know
I'm
you've
above
jerked
going
off.
to a porn theater with you.
You've jerked off. Don't give me your
I have
crap.
I have an awesome Paracinema story that I don't think I've ever told on air.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
I
me and I was like young, like I was in like
What, 8?
like high school.
Did you bring your air sharkies?
No, it was that era though, and my friend who I was staying with. So like I don't know, it's a long story, but like I didn't always stay with my parents, not because they were bad, just because logistical reasons. But sometimes during the week, so my grandmother wouldn't have to bring me back to the town I was going to school in versus the town that I lived in. I would stay with the Stewart brothers, who the show have probably heard me mention, and I go way back with those guys. And when his parents told us, even though we thought we were all going all year, that none of us were actually going on the trip to Jamaica,
Yes.
we decided that it would be awesome to go get porn.
Yeah.
Right. So we went.
Great.
We went to Paris Cinema to buy porn, and we like all picked it out, and like it's almost like our liquor store run because I wasn't old enough to buy it, so like I was making like my selections and
Like pointing, like
giving
that'd be
them what's that right there, and having like the oldest brother Bruce buy them. So we were standing in line, and like literally we were doing like just a friggin' gag like of putting all the porns in Scott's arms. So we had all these fucking big box porns that he was like holding like at the time and like trying not to drop them. And there's a guy like he like was in front of us. He goes, "I want 2 tickets." The guy goes, "2 tickets? There's only one of you." "I want 2 tickets." So he slides 2 tickets through, right? And then the guy slides back one of the tickets, and he goes, "Come on, buddy, I don't have time. What do you want?" And the cashier is behind like a big plexiglass window, right?
Yeah.
So he goes, the guy goes, "What? What do you want?" It's like, what? The guy like puts his hands like on the glass and like puts his face right like up against the like microphone thing. He's like, he goes, dude, you have to tell me right now what you want to bring in the theater. Right? And the guy goes, what are you saying? He leans back and goes, dildo!
What the fuck?
Scott threw all the porn movies in the air, ran out, and Bruce followed him. And I was just standing there like...
What the fuck?
Jesus Christ.
That place is something else. I've been in there once myself, and I was there to.
Hold on one
Yeah, you
second.
were in front of me in line.
What? Why did he have to pay for another seat for a dildo?
I don't think he meant to. I think he...
Big dildo.
I
Must
think
have been one of those big black ones, you know. That
I think the guy initially thought he wanted 2 tickets because that's what it sounded like to me. But
Is that his paradise?
yeah.
Oh, it's all 2 tickets Johnson coming to jerk off.
And the other memory I take away from that, people would say like maybe a smell or like something cliche like sticky floors, is how like fucking soundproof the theaters were, because it would
Yeah.
be like quiet in the thing, and then
Yeah.
somebody would come out of the theaters, and then you hear like wait,
exactly.
like it'd been close.
Yeah.
Wait. And then they'll open up another one and be like, and I was like, oh my fucking Lord, what kind of movies do they show here?
Yeah, really. I like I said, I was in there one time, and I was just there to pick up some movies for a bachelor party that I was going to.
Sure.
And you walk in, and no word of lie, from floor to ceiling, and the ceiling's maybe 15 feet high.
Yeah.
Floor to ceiling, nothing but VHS tapes, big box VHS tapes of porn.
Clamshell?
Probably,
clamshell.
probably. You know, and I was looking for something in particular. You know, I was looking for like Raquel Darrian because she was my favorite for the day. So I was looking around for some Raquel Darrian, and I find myself for some Raquel Darrian, and where I'm walking through. This is just me in there, by the way. And I'm walking through it, and as I'm walking, I hear squish, 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 because the floor is not tile or stone or cement or anything like that. It's like this spongy rug,
Yeah.
and it's squish,
remember that
squish, squish, and it wasn't raining outside or anything like that either. It was a nice day out. Squish, 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 and the guy who was behind the plexiglass looked like he hasn't showered in like 3 weeks. And he's
I think
watching.
he lived in there.
He might have. He very well could have. And he was watching something on TV. I don't dare ask him what.
He was watching Gummy Bears when I was
Yeah, Gummy Bear.
Gummy Bear.
Gummy Bear. And so, I mean, I'm in there, and there was a guy coming out of the theater, and it's just like Dynamo said, you know, it's very soundproof in there. You don't hear a goddamn thing in there until somebody opens the door and you hear, oh yeah, boy, yeah, boy, yeah, you know, blah. And next thing you know, I'm there. I pay for
Sounded
the
like
movie.
that porno room was Bruiser Brody getting heat put on him.
And I'm watching, and some guy comes out, and he looks all disheveled, but yet, you know, very relaxed. And I just pay for my movies, and I walk the hell out of there, promising myself to go back next week.
Yeah. I had never been in. It always looked like I always thought it was an arcade. Because it had like a space plane or like a planet. It wasn't like an astronaut thing. And like my parents, I'm like, oh, it's an arcade.
Yeah,
And my
yeah.
dad's
You don't
like,
want to handle the
"That's
joystick in there.
Yeah, it's no arcade.
No.
No.
Growing up for me, you know, it was years removed from where it was going on, where it was. But that whole little area of Worcester, because there was the Midtown Mall
Yeah.
and the place that sold the fucking Ninja Stars.
Kim's.
And,
Right.
Kim Lee's.
and there was a point where they just let the fucking beautiful downtown theater go into disarray. And instead of like Empire Strikes Back
right?
and everything else, it was showing like, you know, late era Fulci movies and Rumble in the Bronx
I
and stuff
remember
like
that.
that. And like, you know, it was you know, my own little 42nd Street to fucking,
Oh, it was great there.
you know, and that's where I went. I don't know if all the listeners know, but I have a couple of learning disabilities, and the place where I was lucky enough to get into this very prestigious rehab center growing up. But the rehab center was right smack dab in the middle of like the nice part of town, and then you'd walk over, like like the rehab facility. You'd go in on this like nice, like frontage, and you'd walk down this thing, and a couple years into going, I realized that if I went up this other set of stairs, I was in the fucking Midtown Mall.
Yeah.
So like it was like, you know, for like a 12 or 13-year-old me, like it was like through the looking glass, right?
Yeah.
As an aside, we just instead of buying porns, we went and cleared out our subs at TE like it was a revelation. Like we were like, oh well, we could buy we could buy our comics, I guess.
Oh, that's a good
So
idea,
we sat around and then we went to Starship Video and rented Bad Taste. That's the first time I saw Bad Taste and Chopper Chicks from Zombie Town.
There you go.
Was I there yet?
I don't think so.
No.
I mean, yeah. I mean, this was like you were probably still in Blackstone Valley. You know, or whatever.
Oh, okay.
You know, like
Yeah, yeah.
you know, I was still in high school. So.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah. Julie Meow Meows asks, where is the best place to sit in the theater? I say middle back row.
In a real movie theater?
Yeah, real movie theater or porn theater?
Up front.
in any theater, really, in the back.
Because if you went
to a porn theater and sat in the front, you're gonna
if I went,
you're gonna walk out like you were in a
I'm gonna act
Gallagher
like
show.
fucking Aries at fucking. I'm gonna act like
Where's
Aries at Denny's in that theater. Like I'm gonna make sure my back is against the wall.
Yeah.
No, see, I like the ones where when you walk through before, like the front row, there's the gap, and the first one with like the bar. You know what I mean? So like no one.
What you see? What, you're afraid you're gonna fall off your chair or something?
That's too close for me.
I'm along for the ride. No, but if I can jump over if need be to use the restroom, or no one's in front of me, I can put my feet up. You know, relax.
I had good seats. I don't know. Movies aren't always in this theater, but the backest row in the biggest theater in the Cinema 10, I think it is, in Blackstone Valley, has a bar too.
Like not like a drinking bar, but
No,
yeah.
Actually, the last two rows do, so you can put your feet up.
Yeah, like that.
And they're elevated both,
Nice.
so
Yep.
yeah, that's where I like, and near the speakers and stuff like that. I can't sit too close because I'm going blind in two different ways, and I can't
You were
focus.
visiting Paris Cinema too much. Oh no, Paris Cinema was great. And they always used to have the advertisements of the movies that they were showing in the newspaper, you know, which
Yeah.
is always good because it always had
It's
such great
always
titles.
good.
Yeah, it's nice reading the funny pages
Porn
and
is
see
awesome.
Russian girls
What?
never say niet. That's
Wha-
great.
Yeah.
Why is porn awesome, MZ? I gotta know.
Well, I mean,
Have you ever watched a porno?
Of course.
All right, then there you go. There's your answer.
I don't find them awesome, though. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, they're great.
Why?
I don't think they're great.
I think they're great.
Why?
Because they're
you
awesome.
keep saying they're great. I think they're great.
I think
Why?
they're great. They're great because they're awesome. And why are they awesome? Because they're great. That's all that needs to be said.
Such an
Thanks,
idiot.
Tony the Tiger.
Porn is great.
Yeah, I don't have a, I don't know. I don't.
Do you watch it regularly still, MZ?
Yeah.
Like, how often we talking here? Once a day?
Maybe 4 or 5 times a day.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, not a day, a week. I meant to say. Not a day.
Freudian slip. I'm watching it right
week.
now.
A week, I meant to say.
Jesus
not a day.
Christ, dude.
Jesus Christ, a day.
I'll be
God.
out in a minute.
I'd be
Told
like,
me you were combing your hair.
About 4 or 5 times a feedback session. Yeah, I don't. Every once in a while, not like I've lived an exciting life, but everyone's like I have my memory.
There you go.
I have my memory.
Yeah, I've had a good run.
no, I mean,
Well, hey,
porn,
you
back in
could
the
add
day,
some more memories to the Spank Bank after watching Kuso.
No,
porn back in the day was so much better than it is now.
No.
Yes.
No.
Far better. Far better. Don't
why?
even
Because
get
of
me
the
started.
stories.
Yeah. Part of it, yeah.
I like seeing the pictures with my porn.
Part of it, yes. Yes. I think they were like actual movies.
Hey, lady.
There was just a lot
here's
of
the
fucking
pizza
involved.
and here's the pepperoni. Is that what you're talking about? That kind of story?
You got the touch.
Yeah, those kind of suck. Those kind of suck.
You should watch Axel Braun. He seems like he's got some stories
Yeah.
going on. Superheroics.
It's a fucking shared universe.
Right. Shaved universe.
Shaved universe.
I'm
No, I
becoming
think-
too
I
much
think-
like you. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I bet you that's what they're cutting out of me tomorrow. It's gonna be like a
They're
little.
cutting the Raven shadow out of you.
They're gonna open it and look at it in a microscope, and it's gonna be like, Bambaleo! Oh my lord!
He's gonna have his face on it and everything.
Now, who's next? Who's next, Dr. Bueno? Bambaleo!
Bueno Leo.
Yeah, I'm. Yeah,
Get that
no.
up.
I am actually afraid that movie will stop me from doing masturbates later on.
Yep.
It's gonna stop you.
Yeah.
Not me. Nothing stops me from doing that.
Well, nothing stops our guest right now because we're joined by the Grand Poobah of Outside the Cinema, Bill by Force.
Oh! Is that because you gave him the hi-hat last week when you tried to call? When you wouldn't, like...
Well, yeah.
Johnny,
I'm
pick
calling
up.
to wish you guys a happy 5th anniversary. I would never miss the 5th anniversary.
Yeah. Johnny, pick up.
Bill, the 5th anniversary was last week.
Yeah, I know. I was ready and signed on and ready to do my calling like you and I discussed. And you fucked me and left me hanging for like 3.5 hours. And I didn't get to wish my buddies a very special anniversary. 5 years is a big deal, so I made sure to contact my man Dynamo over there.
Whoa, Dynamo just opened up some 5-year anniversary eclairs.
That's true.
What the fuck?
Some lady fingers.
Looks like something from Kuso.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Oh, I watched that.
Can we just do it now? Can we just cue Buster?
No.
Well,
no.
no, first and foremost, I have to. This is. I had to be here for Monster Zero's last show. It's very important. But oh, you guys didn't tell him yet? No. Shh. Oh, okay. Sorry. No, but Jesse, it's official. You're out of the Down Boys. It's just me, Raven, Shadow, and Dynamo now.
I don't want to be in the Down Boys.
No.
You were here, man. You were
true.
down at the time, and now you're all like, oh, I'm gonna leave Bill hanging for 3.5 hours.
Well,
I don't think so.
He does that.
So what happened was if you guys remember, listened to
What
last
happened was
week.
fucked me.
Yeah, I did fuck you. Speaking of porn,
Timestamp.
What happened was you made me raw.
when we got disconnected, when Tiny got disconnected, I had to reboot, and I never saw your messages because I don't really check the Skype computer. So.
And you only use Skype to bring the guests in, so why would you check it?
He has 4 screens, Bill. I'm looking at 3 of them. He's got one down here you don't even see. And he has like 2 phones and that little fucking Dick Tracy watch he has. He fucked you just like he fucked Dynamo. Down, boys.
No, that's not true. I got no problems with anybody in the room. I'm even all right with Monster Zero tonight. Jesse's just going to get the brunt of it.
You guys gonna have your pose off?
This is like it's like Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes going on in the Outside the Cinema Club.
Yeah.
It's like Kenny Omega, Yano.
No, Yano.
No, but seriously, I did Jesse and I had talked. I was on last year's anniversary episode, and I was on the Cannibal Holocaust episode, which is obviously one of Zero's favorite movies of all time. So I've been there for the special things. And I was
Yeah,
actually
you were
bummed
on
that
episode 51, which was, I believe, first year. Yeah, you were on a couple of them.
and on a bunch of them. I felt very left out last week. You guys were too busy sucking off Carano to bring your boy Bill in.
You were on 50 and 51, I think, because we did
Miami Connection.
Miami Connection. Yeah, you were on the beginning because we did Maniac, right?
Oh,
Maniac
yeah.
was 51, yeah.
No.
But in all seriousness, I mean, coming from a podcast that's been around for a while, 5 years is a very important milestone, and you guys deserve the accolades of all the Trick or Treat radio heads out there. It's a big deal, and the fact that you guys are still putting out really good content this deep in is a testament to like you guys as a group of people doing a show. Because so many podcasts, like, I mean, I know I've listened to, I fall off because they get boring after a while, but you guys always manage to keep it fresh, despite the porn talk. Really hearing this episode.
We talk about porn in one episode, and all of a sudden, it's the
episode.
crux of the entire.
Does Bill know we're actually live? Like he's saying nice things. We're live. No. Does he know that?
I know. I
That's very nice, Bill.
I know, Bill.
I downloaded 4 Outside the Cinemas today to listen to in the hospital.
I got like 3 more ahead of the schedule if you want them ahead of time.
I may. I'm not sure what my phone is so big. My new phone, like the amount of space I have versus versus what my old phone had. Like if I got too many text messages, it would stop working. Like,
well, that's what happens when you hold on to an iPhone 3S for like 7 years.
I had that thing for 8 years.
Jesus Christ!
Car crash, hobo attack. It lasted a long time.
Jesus.
You guys were doing the porn talk, and a couple minutes ago, and you were talking to Monster Zero, and his response of like, "It's good." He answers questions like my fucking 6-year-old.
I'm sure your 6-year-old is.
Travis, why are you sad? Because I'm sad. Well, yeah, but why are you sad? Because I'm mad. Why are you mad? Because I'm sad. That's how you
That's
answer.
actually smarter than MG's answers.
Oh, fuck off, douchebag.
Wow.
You did get beat up by like a 3-year-old, MZ?
It's true. We watched it in Long Beach.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on. I was 30 years old. I was a young kid back then.
Sucker punched him.
He'd really kick your ass now.
yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
him. I've seen him. He's a big dude.
Me and
now.
Raven Shadow hung out with him the other day.
Yeah.
He's taller than all of us.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And
He's got a big beard.
Yeah, I wasn't sure the etiquette because I brought some beers.
Right.
We were hanging out with Team Aries, down to my special lady friend. It was nice on the porch. And I gave Aries a beer. I had a beer. And I didn't know the etiquette. Do I offer him a beer? Do I not?
So Bill and listeners, Aries' son, who is now 21 years old, came to visit me this week, and Raven Shadow showed up, and there was like this awkward moment of like being faced with like an adult version of somebody who beat up Monster Zero when he was 30.
Rematch.
Yeah.
Rematch.
It'd go poorly, I think.
Yeah. Big boy.
Well, while we have Bill here, before we get too deep into anything else, Bill, what's been going on with OTC, and also want an update on Survival of the Film Freaks?
OTC actually, I gotta actually. This is good time. I actually have a bunch of stuff I can talk about. OTC is going to be hitting 500 episodes in like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So episode 500 is coming up.
Wow.
And I will break the news here since it relates to you guys. Tiny is redoing our theme music for a very special version for episode 500.
Wow.
No kidding.
He'll write for you, but not us.
Yeah.
In his defense, he's doing a version of a song that we already have, so it's not like he's doing a song or anything like that. But no, I reached out to him because
That's awesome.
I love Tiny stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty psyched that he said he would do it, and he was psyched because I gave him like 4 weeks lead up, so it wasn't like, hey, can you give this to me tomorrow?
No, that's amazing. That's super cool. I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, so episode 500, we don't really know what we're gonna do yet. We think we might do kind of like go back and do the 10 best and 10 worst movies we've done, going back to the beginning of the show or something like that.
Ooh.
500 we wanted to make something special, so that's coming up. In the meantime, on OTC, we've got the new episode I dropped today that's got Jack Bennett and BJ McDonnell doing on it. If you guys, I don't know, most of you guys probably know Jack Bennett, but he directed the last 2 Anthrax videos.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Scott Ian show. But BJ McDonnell directed Hatchet 3, and he directed the 3 Slayer videos that are out right now.
Nice.
So we talk a lot about making music videos and how it relates to independent and like horror filmmaking. It's a 2-part interview. We played the first part in this week's episode. The second part will be on next week's episode.
Nice.
So that's it's good to kind of get that idea. And BJ's a really good dude that I met recently, and he talks a little, working on Hatchet 3, but his big thing is he's a cameraman, and he's been on camera, working camera on literally like everything. He's done a bunch of Marvel movies. He just finished shooting Ballers, that's the HBO show with The Rock. He did a bunch of stuff on Central Intelligence with The Rock. He did God damn, I can't even think of the stuff now. He did like all the SNL movies, like Pop Star and MacGruber, and just like, and he shot like the first 2 Hatchet films, and he shot he did everything. The guy's had his hands in everything. He's a rad dude, loves metal, and is a really just interesting guy to talk to. So I was psyched to get to bring him onto the show.
Yeah, that sounds great, man. I'll can't wait to check those out for sure. So you said the first part of that dropped today?
Yeah,
Cool.
Episode 495, I think.
All right, I'm going to download it right this moment so I can
Plus a
listen to it.
review of the Frank Henenlotter classic Brain Damage.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
Stacked
I fucking love
episode.
that movie, yeah.
Now, I have a question for you, Bill. If Brain Damage was your favorite movie, and it was playing at a theater near you with a bunch of your friends going, would you go?
In all likelihood, yeah.
You had child coverage. Your wife said it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be there.
What are you looking at me like that for?
Because you did not.
Because you didn't go.
What,
brain
dam-
damage, yeah.
I didn't know anything about brain
Yeah,
damage.
you
You
did.
son of a
It was
bitch.
like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
No, maybe like 3
I
years
remember
ago.
yesterday, let alone 2 years
It
ago.
wasn't
I
that
really
long
don't
ago because
remember.
we went with Andrea and stuff.
I really don't
Oh, okay.
remember it.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't remember it. I don't remember this.
And you gave an amazing reason of why you didn't go. We were like, why didn't you go? Because I didn't go.
Just like, why is porn good? It's great.
Oh.
It's-
Bite me, butterbean. All right. I don't remember anything about that.
You call me Butterbean because I look like a ghoulie now. My beard got messed up, and now I look like the ghoulie from the cover of Ghoulies, out of the bowl and out of control. It's bad times.
Butterbean. That's perfect. I never thought I'd hear it when I woke up this morning. Remember when he knocked out Bart Gunn?
Yeah, of course.
Was it
like
Brawl
30
for All?
It was like 34 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, Brawl
It
for
was like
All,
his
yeah.
first punch, I think. It was awesome.
I thought Bart Gunn was going to go the distance.
Yeah, so did he.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he was never heard from again.
Didn't he get fired like right after that too? Because
Yeah.
they're like,
I think
embarrassed
so, yeah.
shit out of us.
But like he knocked out Dr. Death, so he had a pretty good career in all Japan because Dr. Death was like a god. So the
Yeah.
fact that he got to show up, and I'm sure that they used like some bootleg version of that every single time that he went to the ring. You saw Dr. Death? Dr. Death?
So we got the update on OTC. What is going on with Survival of the Film Freaks?
The teaser trailer is available.
Yeah.
Wow.
Filmfreaks.com. It came out.
It's been available like a month, Raven Shadow.
We watched it on air, I think. No, right before the
No,
show.
I think it was when we were in Long Beach. I think.
Oh,
I
right,
think it
that's
came
what.
out.
Yeah, we gathered around the phone. And
Yeah, we all
watched
watched it. Yeah.
Oh, I was in Long Beach.
because you didn't want to come.
I didn't want to come.
Why didn't you?
Wait,
I didn't go.
Mars,
Yeah.
why was Long Beach so fun?
It was fun. Because it was awesome.
You don't have to explain yourself.
Because it was awesome.
I mean, I watched most of the New Japan shows afterwards, man. Like I know I kind of gave you guys shit about the card, but
Yeah.
it was a great event, man.
Yeah.
It was
awesome.
yeah, it was ridiculous. We I don't know if you saw us in the second row on the night too, but we were second row. It was ridiculous.
I thought I caught you, but I couldn't be sure because there's so many like just random people there. Like
Yeah, yeah.
everybody looks like looks like us at those events. So it's like it's like I think I know that person. It's like not somebody's grandmother. What are you talking about?
The most distracting thing for me was I watch a lot of Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, which is based out of Los Angeles. So like I'd see somebody and think that they were like famous, and I'd be like, "Who is that?" I'd be like, "Oh no, that's just Terminator fan from Pro Wrestling. That's the guy that bangs on the ring funny from Pro Wrestling Gorilla."
It's Jim
Oh, no, that's-
Faith No
yeah.
More.
Yeah, that's Fat. There's a guy we call Fat Matt Nathanson, and we were like, "Oh, that's Fat Matt Nathanson," was sitting right in front of us.
Oh, the guy who slams the mat to the Terminator.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So you guys dropped the teaser, which it looks fucking great.
Yeah, man. It's funny.
Shit, I haven't seen
Kyle's coming. Actually, he's in the process of moving back to Connecticut
Yeah,
now.
I saw that.
We're getting into the real, the deep editing. We've got most of the stuff pulled. Like, the making that teaser trailer. Like, I never made like a real trailer before. Like, I made trailers for shit we've done for OTC, but like making like an actual trailer. So it's like, Kyle's putting it together, and I'm like, use this, and he's like, Bill, it's a teaser, so maybe it shouldn't be 6 minutes long.
Yeah.
But I got all the straight footage in, and he's like, yeah, it's gonna be in the movie.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. But so, the trailer is 1 minute and 10 seconds, and there is, I think, 32 seconds of footage that we shot in it. So, needless to say, I was fighting to get you and Mars in the teaser, but it just like we couldn't get it to work. So I was a little sad about that.
I would have blinded people anyway
Yeah,
with
it's
my
probably better
paleness.
Mars, I was sending you some of the stuff we were that I was doing editing on. And he's like, I just look like a ghost.
I couldn't be more white.
My forehead.
He looks like a ghoulie.
I do look
Yeah,
like
so we're knee deep. We're gonna have a full length trailer available probably for I'd say late September, and then the other announcement I can give you guys is that Survival of the Film Freaks will have a table at Rock and Shock.
Whoa! Hey!
Yeah, and we're working on getting placed directly next to you. Next
Nice.
Oh, it's gonna be off.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
We're hoping to screen a teaser of some sort, maybe like a 10-minute clip or something.
Yeah.
But as you know, Joshua Gutierrez is coming out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Reverend Scott is coming out.
Yep.
I wrangled them to work with us, so we're gonna have a hell of a fucking party this year, boys.
Shit, so that really adds. Like, if
Yeah.
you guys don't want to come out for us, you can come out for Survival of the Film Freaks.
At least come out for Reverend Scott. I mean,
Yeah.
That's true.
You can share Flirtini with Reverend Scott. That alone is worth the price of admission right
Yep.
there.
We could
There you
also
go.
we could also run a pool as if Monster Zero recognizes and remembers him.
Yeah.
What's the
over under?
Yeah, what's the over under on that?
Nice to meet you.
How many days does it take till he recognizes him?
You have no idea who I am, do you?
Hey, buddy.
To be fair, he didn't recognize Aries.
Right. Yeah.
I fucking recognize.
No, you didn't
Aries.
initially. You were like, "What's with the beard?"
No. I knew it was him. Come on, you can't really miss him. I was just amazed by his beard. That's all. I was just staring at his beard.
By the way, I'm glad you clarified, Bill, because Monster Zero was going to bring a towel to the pool.
But yeah, it should be a good time, man. I'm looking forward to it. So.
Yeah, that's gonna be a killer weekend for sure.
Yeah. But I'm glad that you actually, because of Rock and Shock, know that area. So like even hearing me talk about how fucking different it is than it was, like none of that shit was there. Like when I talk
really,
about the stories, yeah.
Yeah, it's unbelievable the amount of things. There's a bunch of restaurants now, and there's just all kinds of good stuff.
Jimmy John's is over there.
Yeah, there's a Jimmy John's. You can walk in with your Lesnar T-shirt.
That's true.
You get like what 10% off with that?
the place charge 10% more.
The place where Kim Cody is getting chemo wasn't there. Like that's a fucking building that wasn't there at all. Like
wow.
And it's like this big beautiful building.
It wasn't there what 10 years ago? Maybe it's been there like 5 years.
Well,
I don't even think it's been there that long.
Well, Tiny and I were driving through there. Like Tiny was supposed to pick me up at 5 o'clock, so at 9:30 when we left, we were just like looking for like. Something to do, and we were driving around. He was heading for the Cove. We figured we'd hang out with Ted, but it wasn't open. And we drove down that way under the bridge, and he stopped like right in the middle of the road because there's a huge building there that was like not there. It was like a lot when Rock and Shock was last year. Now it looks like, I don't know, it doesn't even look like a building. It looks like a wood structure. It looks like the Ewok village. Like it just is all these like, I don't even know what they're doing. It's like planks and scaffolds and stuff like that, but it's huge. It's like building size. Like it was like, what is that? Like it was, and there's this like there's like down the street from where Rock and Shock happens. There were all these roads that you could go through, and now there's like a train station there. So like I wonder how many accidents there were the first time when people just plowed into people waiting for the train. But it's crazy how different it is. It's not as fun and not as sleazy, and you certainly can't see Gates of Hell at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when you're supposed to be going to see Krull, but, it's down there.
Yeah. No porn theaters?
No. They tore that place down, like, this week. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you know that, Monster Zero? They tore down Paris Cinema?
It's been torn down for years.
No, it's just been closed.
Really?
Yeah.
He was like, damn, I would have went.
I can tell you that it is closed because one of my 3 career, like when I first got promoted to marketing, so only a couple of years ago, and I was doing it for like a week, and I'm like, this sucks. Mm-hmm. I inquired because much like the Blockbuster video down on Route 20 where it looks like all they did is take the videotapes and just fucking walk out. It's like all set up and ready to be a store. Yeah. There's like still a theater in there.
Really?
No kidding. Well, they're not anymore. Now it's a fucking pile of rock bricks and cement, but I inquired about the rent, and the people didn't call me back.
No, I mean I knew that it's been closed, and it's been closed for the better part of 20 years, I think, if not longer. And but I didn't know that it was like being demolished, like the whole area was being torn down.
Certainly not 20 years, because like I just told a story about high school, and I've been just out of high school for 20 years, so.
It's been a little bit longer.
It's been a little longer than that.
No, because
unless you've been in high school till you're 24.
I got a state school. I got a 20-year
prison.
I have a 20-year reunion coming. Is that not what it is?
It's no, it's a 20. Add 5 years.
Oh, really? Well, still, that's not that much longer than 20 years. Like I don't think it was closed 5 years after I got out of high school.
It's been closed a while.
There was an incident when I started my day job of a couple of like a posse of fellas that got in trouble there. So yeah, almost 18, 19 years.
We're Bill and I gonna go watch porn if that place is gone. I have no good authority that porn is awesome.
You're not coming to my place.
You guys can go to one of the bathrooms.
Right, guys.
Get a stall at Rock and Shock and. Watch it on your phone.
I had no interest in going to that place, but now that I
sucks there.
Yeah, now that I know that porn is awesome. I had no idea.
Porn's great. What do you like about it? It's great.
I enjoy it.
if you don't know why it's so great, then you've never seen a porno movie.
If you think it's that great, you've never had sex.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you actually had sex, you might think sex is great.
I might think so, but
I think what Monster is trying to say is
look
like,
at me. I can't get laid with this face.
You could have a fight scene, or you could fight in real life, fights in the ground, but there's a movie fight.
What?
What?
You know,
You just made things
What
a
are you
whole lot
talking
worse.
about,
What are you
you
talking
idiot?
about?
Yeah.
no, it's like more. I think he's saying he likes the visuals and the angles.
The angles.
He
He likes the visuals of the porn.
Yeah.
MZ
Yeah.
likes a nice Dutch angle.
Shut up.
Camera's resting on some girl's ass.
You're a good-looking guy.
You are. You could get laid.
No, I can't. Look
Yeah,
at me.
yeah, you could.
You could.
We talked about the fucking tour.
Yeah.
You
Fuck
could
the
take.
tour.
Yeah, the fuck door.
Yeah, the
fuck the
DTF.
tour. Fuck the tour.
The DTF tour.
Right.
Yeah. AF.
What does AF stand for again,
Ass
Rich?
fuck. Down to fuck ass fuck.
Not to change speeds here, but
No, please do.
So, Jesse, did you pick the movie for the guy?
Did I pick the movie this week?
Did you pick Kuso or whatever the hell it is?
Yeah, I picked it.
Yeah, great.
Why,
Why not?
dude?
It's a film that a lot of people are talking about, and I wanted for us to discuss it.
Spoiler alert! It's
what?
He's out of here.
Was Billy
He took off.
Did he just hang up?
I'm still here. I'm
Oh,
still
there he is.
Hear my review on Outside the Cinema, episode 500.
I like what Raven Shadow's putting down tonight. No, it's fucking awful. It's terrible. It's just awful.
Well, we'll get to reviewing it very soon.
That's the review.
All right. Well, it was nice talking to you.
Zero liked it. You know what? I'm sticking around for the review.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
You know what? It's funny. I had dinner with the amazing Myra K Rock the other day, and I just had like the CryptoCast
Oh,
playing
no,
in the background.
I hope she didn't watch it.
No, but she. I had left the room for a minute and came back, and she was watching when Wolfie and I took over the Outside the Cinema booth.
Oh, yeah.
And she didn't seem immune. I thought she was mad. Like she didn't seem like she thought it was funny. I think she was upset that we were
That's not your
besmirching
booth.
Outside the Cinema. She's so nice.
That's
It's
where
terrible.
Bill sits.
Yeah.
She did swear.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
Yeah.
I'm sure she's found
Twice.
I'm sure
Not
she's
just
found,
once, but
Got her
twice.
last week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm sure she's found the hidden message in this movie.
Truck driver mouth.
It's true.
Yeah, it's about life and family. And you don't always get what you want unless you want. Oh fuck. I'm so upset.
All right, well, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll
Get what you want.
actually before we head to the review.
Yes.
MZ had some very personal news he wanted to discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to fucking hear this. He teased me with it. He's like over the weekend.
He
he's
wouldn't
like,
tell me.
He's
either.
like, dude, I have to tell you something. I'm like, leave it for the show.
Well, I was afraid he got ball cancer
Oh Jesus!
If that was the case, I'd be dead already.
because he said juggernaut, and I'm like, well, it's the only thing on him.
A
that seems
juggernaut means
unstoppable.
big news, not
No,
big bad news.
That isn't what it means.
It is what it
Juggernaut means
means.
unstoppable. Like,
well,
like
this is unstoppable
okay, go.
because it's been in the process for the past 46 plus years.
I'm fucking fascinated.
So set it up, MZ.
So elated, so fine.
So fine, so elated.
Well, a few weeks ago, I mailed out to have my DNA tested for from Ancestry
What
DNA.
prompted that?
Well, my other half decided to do it because she was always interested in what she's made of, and so she.
Hate and bitterness.
What did she? Did you two talk or something? What the hell? And so I felt like doing it myself, and so I sent away for a package that. What you do is that you spit into this vial.
You don't
and
jerk off into it?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say he probably jerked off into it.
That's not what we wanted.
And now it's. I finally got the results back a couple days ago.
Why are you laughing at, Mars?
Why did you jerk off into this file? Because it was awesome.
There's a little target.
Wait, I gotta ask. I mean, we know your last name. You don't.
Yep.
You ask your parents, and like, what was Nana?
Well,
And
see,
what was-
the thing is that we had, according to my folks, and I have seen this, though not for a couple of decades. We did have some sort of lineage.
Guess so.
A book, that tells us our family history and stuff like that. So.
It's called Family Circus.
And so
It's called a photo album.
I am related to not me.
And so, anyway, well, it's been, I've always wanted to know because my parents have always said that I have Native American in me, and French, and Irish, Italian, and they even said a little bit of Polish in me. And
That was a hell of a party.
It is, isn't it though?
Was it a gonga bong?
But them telling you that wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
No.
He had to go to the fucking source.
Yeah.
Are you satisfied, son? No, I want to spit in some.
I want to spit in a vial.
Was it like a loogie or was it like a
No. You can't have any suds in it. That's the thing. You can't have any suds.
third
It's got to
time's
be
the
like
charm?
it's got to be like pure fluid.
How many sons? What are you doing? Sucking soap?
This news has no exchange of fluids. There's no validity here.
All right. So
Oh
anyway,
God, I can't fucking wait. I can't wait. First time Mike is hanging out, and he says he's 50% Art Bradish. And then Julie Meow Meow says Corundo's his dad.
So anyway, as it turns out, let me see here. Just want to make sure I get it all.
Should we get the drum roll?
Yeah, do the drum roll. What is Monster Zero's true ethnicity?
It's just gonna say all of the above.
At this rate, you better be fucking related to like JFK. Or
Yeah,
something,
you
or
better. It's better be fucking
It's gonna be
good.
a popcorn file.
Well, I haven't gone that far into finding out how if I'm related to
What, is
anybody.
this a fucking new segment?
We got flashbacks and then MZ's
I just haven't had the time to do it
ancestral
yet.
history.
I just haven't had the time to do it yet. But I will do it.
Ancestral or incestral?
Ancestral history.
Ancestry DNA.
Wow, but it's Juggernaut news, but he hasn't got all the information.
Yeah. So anyway,
What is this? The big reveal?
yeah. So anyway, it turns out that I don't have any Native American in me at all.
Duh.
Not a
Oh my
drop.
God! You fucking blew the door off of this! Holy shit! Where's Robert Stack? Get him on this!
Calm down over there.
Oh my God!
Holy shit, that's
What
why you
a
don't have a
reveal.
casino.
Will you calm the hell down, you pony nub wearing asshole?
I
All
just
right.
assumed because I like the porn poker hotness so bad.
All right. So anyway,
So we know he's
it
not.
turns out that I'm 98% European.
That's not even a. That's like
All right.
a lot.
Is that the Juggernaut?
No.
Okay.
No. Will you calm down? Will you just calm down and shut up?
It's me, Juggernaut, bitch.
A pale white guy has European descent.
All right. It says that I'm. It also says that I'm plus or minus 1% European Jewish.
My brother!
My brother, Yakamve.
L'chaim, my brother!
Is this the little girl I married? Is this the little girl I knew?
I'm gonna get you a dreidel for your fucking birthday now.
DC dreidel.
Also, I'm 1% Western Asia. More specifically, the Middle East.
Okay.
So don't shoot me. And also, it turns out that I am also. This is the part that kills me.
Okay.
I'm 1% African. What? Specifically North African.
Is that the Juggernaut?
Yeah.
No!
I'm black. I'm black.
You realize that there are Caucasian people in Africa,
Oh my
right?
God!
Like more than Tarzan?
Oh my fucking God!
And the
I'm
Phantom.
black.
Are you kidding me?
And you can't say those words, so you know it doesn't give you a right. You're not in the club yet.
You're not in Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh my fucking god!
I'm like 7% Italian and Greek, 8% Scandinavian.
So they did break it down. I thought they
Yeah.
just ripped you off for like, you were more than likely European
No,
because you're white.
no. See, look. See,
Oh my god! I can't fucking believe this. That's fucking it.
We just
dude, I'm black. Come on, what do you want from me? Not that I'm complaining, mind you. Believe me, I'm not. I'm not complaining.
You're not?
I am thrilled.
You're not black. You're
I
like
am black.
you're like smuggling cougarans into the country.
Leave my balls out of this.
Murtaugh and Riggs shoot you, African.
but you're black.
Yeah, power to the people, my brothers.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Hear me, evil corny. Power.
Wow!
Wow.
Oh, shut up.
Just so you guys know, next week we are covering the Black Gestapo.
Nice.
Zero, you might want to get in on that.
I just might. I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
He isn't on it.
It's a fun flick.
Yeah. Is that the one with Charles Robinson?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Little Nate?
For all you Night Court fans.
Wow! Nice.
Yeah. Right. Before he started wearing
Sent you
the
a
sweater
treat, Wolfie.
vests.
You sent me what?
Sent you a treat
Where?
on your Facebook.
Is that Mac?
Yeah.
From the Night Court?
Yep.
He's my dude.
Yep.
He married an Asian woman on the program.
Yeah. Quan Lee.
You are like,
Evil Quan Lee.
you are not. You are not.
Yeah, it's the sugar knock, bitch. Yeah, it's the sugar knock, bitch.
What? I am so underwhelmed.
Wow.
Oh, of course
I am
you are.
so underwhelmed. I thought you were going to be related to someone fucking.
I haven't checked that far yet.
is.
You got to give me a
Related to Usher.
chance. Jesus, are you that unstable that you can't even understand perfect English? I told you I haven't checked that far into it yet. I'm going to. Don't worry about it.
How do you know you didn't slip
I'm
into
sorry, I
like?
don't understand you. You're speaking African to me.
Well, maybe if I take the clicks out of my dialect, maybe you'll understand.
Settle
a little bit.
down, Meek Mill. You don't need to be like,
Shit.
Hey. Kunta Kinte, okay?
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Jesus.
I'm only trying to keep it
It
contemporary.
might be his last show.
Oh, so now
was a
you're
soothsayer.
racist, Jesse. You don't want to have a black guy in there?
Right, yeah. Boy, some people.
Oh, Jesus Christ. There's going to be a lot of fucking mileage out of this, I'll tell you that.
Wait till I tell Malcolm Zero about this. He's really
no.
going to flip out.
That dude's never coming back.
Zero.
Malcolm Zero.
He's better left alone.
We have breaking news. This is Johnny Wolfenstein, and we just found out that Monster Zero is 1% black.
Yeah.
Dynamo.
In other news, people are angry about film trailers.
We're stunned here, Johnny. And the fact, I think the even biggest revelation is that he is 90% of European descent.
We're all just glossing over far too easily the fact that he is 2% black Jew.
That's right. So my Whoopi Goldbergs and me Sammy Davis Jr.'s out there,
Oh my god.
we're going to stand up and revolt.
Yeah, it's the sugar knock, bitch.
Yeah, shut it up, bitch.
Wow.
Oh my fuck. The chat room is going nuts. They're like, oh my god, wow.
Is the ledge here?
No, I don't know.
Oh, God.
First time Mike says, this took a turn to the weird. Oily Maniac says, if he's part Sicilian, that's where the 1% black came from.
Hey.
Well, maybe he is.
Yeah, it's true.
And Cromcast Josh says, what a twist.
It's true.
And Corny says MZ still has to apply for his blackness card.
Yes, true. Wow.
Oh my god.
We're definitely.
Well, where
not.
can I get one of them
Tonight.
anyway?
Never expected the butterbean reference. Never needed to know that he was 1% black.
Yeah.
I think it's less than 1%.
Yeah, he's actually 1% African, which means that
North African. I could be Ethiopian for all I know, which explains the baby belly that I got
Jesus
going on.
Oh my God! You are such a fucking horrible person. You're going to fucking hell.
Well, I'll see
I'm
you
gonna
there.
send you there. Oh my fuck!
Wow.
Corny says MC's name is Toby.
Corny, my brother.
No, don't! Don't!
Corny.
Don't!
Please stop.
Don't!
Please stop.
I'm
go to
gonna turn
commercial.
the fucking mic off.
Oh, you shut.
Strap on.
Better not shut.
Yeah.
What? My God! Well, I have to discriminate against you.
Racist.
Jesus Christ. I ain't saying nothing.
Not Trump's
Oh
America.
my! Yeah. All right, I can't even. I can't. No,
Fucking-
no, no, no.
Yeah.
maybe he's doing Naito. Let's just say he's doing Naito.
I can't even shill our fucking shit. We gotta go to break right now.
Yeah.
This is big news, folks.
Yeah.
Juggernaut.
Yeah. You rocked it like a hurricane.
Thank you.
Thought the moon landing.
Yeah, it's the juggernaut, bitch!
Go to fucking
Now
break.
stop. Just stop.
Yeah, Juggernaut, bitch. All right, let's go to a fucking break. Ray Sean, I'm not even going to ask you because I know I probably don't want to hear what you did to get ready for this movie. So, all right, we're going to cut to a break. We'll be back in just a moment.
Do you love a scary story? Do you love to dance? The Big Scary Monster Hunts at Midnight is a collection of dark songs about sex, love, death, revenge, and the end of the world. Brought to you by the world's greatest monster hunting electroshock band, the Deadites. Available on iTunes, Google Music, Amazon, CD Baby, and all other digital distribution sites.
Hey Deadites, I'm Christian,
And I am uncouth.
We're good movies for bad people.
and you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
What's up, y'all? It's me, the Yeti. Telling all the ladies that they couldn't be more fine and that we should knock those boots like Frankenstein. When I want to get my nerd on, I go to Facebook and I go to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group. That's the place where I get to talk about all the hip new horror movies, all the cool comics,
Like comics.
RPGs, video games, you name it, we're talking about shit on there. And you could not be any cooler if you were the coolest kid in school. Be the first kid on your block to swing their cock over at the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group. Just go to Facebook, search for Trick or Treat Radio, ask to join, and it's like Nerd Nirvana, baby, without the shotgun blast. This is the Yeti, signing out. See you at the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group.
Follow us on Twitter at The Deadites, TheDeadites.com, and TrickOrTreatRadio.com.
Hello, this is the Sasquatch, aka Bigfoot, but you can just call me Frank. And when I'm not stomping around the woods throwing rocks at hunters, I like to listen to the Paranormal Punchers podcast. That's right, Paranormal Punchers. They talk about all things paranormal, and they're hilarious. Go find them on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and paranormalpunches.com.
All right, we're back on Trick or Treat Radio. MZ just showed me the ancestry report, and the North Africa was in the low confidence region.
Yes.
That's like Congo, right?
So they're not positive. It's low confidence in that. Wow. You brought the fucking chat room down, though, MZ.
Yes,
Everyone's fucking going nuts.
Yes, well, it looks like I'm going to have to get myself a visa now, so...
Dude, you made my night, man. You made my night.
What'd you say?
Made my night.
Oh, I made your night?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just so happy right now. You know what? You can be with the Down Boys.
All right, cool. All right. Well, I guess you need a little diversity in your population.
Oh my God! Shut up.
You'll be our Farouk.
Nation of masturbation.
What? I like it.
Oh, man. So in the chat room, first time Mike says, "Oh, my God, I'm laughing so hard right now. It hurts." Corny says, "Me too." Creepy Girl says, "Me 3, I can't breathe." And first time Mike says, "You know it's bad when Raven Shadow doesn't want his intro." True. Good point. We didn't give him his intro. Julie Meow Meow has posted a video of the thing with 2 heads.
Nice. Classic flick.
And Corny also says, "I'm about to have an asthma attack laughing at y'all." Julie says, "I was not expecting that segment." I wasn't either. I had no idea. And Carlos is wondering if everyone is still alive. First time Mike says, "My heart rate has gone down, so I'm good." And Corny says, "Black MZ."
Oh, man. It's awesome.
Malcolm Zero. He'll be
I'm just
making...
going to call you a different rapper every time I refer to you now. I'll call you Cool Keith.
And Dr. Octagon.
Oh, KRS-One.
Head MT.
First time Mike says, MZ needs a dashiki.
I do need a dashiki. And after I do that, I'm gonna watch some Sanford and Son.
It's probably because all the Sanford and Son you watch as a kid.
Probably. I did watch a lot of Sanford and Son. What's Happening? The Jeffersons.
It all makes sense.
Good Times.
It all makes sense now.
Monster Zero, the African hero.
Oh my fucking God! Speaking of hip hop artists, Bill, are you familiar with Flying Lotus?
My history with Flying Lotus goes way back about 3.5 years.
Yep.
Basically, I'd never heard of the guy because he's hip hop, but he's like EDM, so he does a whole bunch of different stuff. So I had actually never heard of him. But when I worked at Urban Outfitters for was a year or whatever it was.
Yep.
And all the kids that worked in there were like, "Yo, you got to check out Flying Lotus," and I'm like, "No, I don't." if they're like, "Oh, he's playing such and such fest and this," and I'm like, "Well, if he's playing the festival the kids are going to, I know I'm not interested in it."
Yeah.
His stuff is interesting, but I don't know. Maybe I think it's good for what it is, probably, but it's just really not my thing. So, like when I saw that he was making a movie, I was suspect at best. I thought it was going to be like hipster art bullshit. So, I mean, maybe I was right.
So I actually wasn't familiar with his music, and I actually dug in last night a little bit, and I actually really enjoyed it. Like I went through a phase several years ago where I was really into a lot of electronic music, and he was signed to Warp Records, which I listened to a pretty good amount of stuff on Warp Records, and I just never listened to him. It was kind of after the fact when he got signed to Warp, so it was after sort of that phase. But I'm a fan of a lot of the other stuff that he kind of references, and one other thing I thought was really cool is that he's the grandnephew of John Coltrane, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah,
That's a fucking revelation.
Yeah.
I mean, I like in theory his stuff, and it's like, it's kind of like I'm trying to think of that guy's name.
Childish Gambino?
No. I'm in Stone's Throw Records. Like Danger Doom and like Mad Villainy and like those kind of weird like, it doesn't necessarily sound like that, but like those weird like arty hip hop stuff. And I really like the Stone's Throw stuff, so I like more of that kind of like genuine smart hip hop. I don't like the crossover with the electronic stuff so much because I'm not really a very big EDM fan in general.
Yep.
I mean, I love the Chainsmokers though. That shit's a revelation. Fucking go back of fucking electronic music. Oh, sorry.
And the other thing is that I didn't realize this either at the time, but I've definitely heard his stuff because he produced most of the bumper music for Adult Swim. So if you guys ever watch Adult Swim, the kind of interstitials between, he wrote a good portion of that music. So that was one other thing of why it kind of seemed familiar to me, even though I hadn't really listened to his stuff. And
it's pretty eclectic too.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
he does a lot of different types of stuff. It's
Absolutely.
not like one specific thing.
Right. There's this one song he did. I don't have the name of it offhand, but he did a song with Kendrick Lamar, who I'm not really familiar with either. But
love Kendrick Lamar.
But the song was fucking.
He looks just like Monster Zero.
Wow.
He has African lineage too.
I am starting to notice the resemblance too.
Let me see. I'm going to find it. I'm just going to play a clip of it. It's the name of the track is Never Catch Me, and it features Kendrick Lamar. So let me just play a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm going to fast forward a little bit and get some of the middle of the track.
That's Kendrick Lamar right there.
So there are a lot of samples in his music, but there's also a lot of artistry as well, you can tell. And it's kind of an eclectic fusion of, kind of hip-hop, EDM, and jazz, and just other stuff. It's just a weird sort of fusion. And I really dig it. So far, I listened to one of his albums earlier, and a couple tracks here and there. You can hear some of the... So some pretty eclectic stuff. But, I'm digging it.
It's good MCs to work with, too. Like, like Kendrick Lamar is, I don't know how, you guys aren't all really that into rap, but, like, Kendrick Lamar is probably, like, the best MC on the planet right now. The guy's, he's as popular as he is, but he's one of those guys, like, he backs it up. It's not just like Drake is one of those guys. Like I like Drake enough, but like Drake ain't shit. But like Kendrick Lamar back it up. So when he works, when guys like that work with producers like Flying Lotus or like going back to like working with guys like Jay Dilla and stuff like that, like you get the right MC with a guy that makes a good beat, and it's it can be really special.
He's done some team ups with Eminem too on a couple of tracks.
Oh, okay, yeah. So So right away, I'm glad that I dug in a little bit into his music because it kind of gave me a little bit more of an insight into sort of his creative brain, even though there's a lot there, I think, that, I'm only just scratching the surface by looking at his music. But it's definitely pretty eclectic. There's a lot going on there, and there's a lot of distinct sort of interests. So, and also knowing that he composed stuff for Adult Swim kind of gave a little bit of insight into more about this flick, I think, as well. So... This flick is a weird one. Like the fact that Shudder picked it up is a little weird. I mean, it definitely it's
definitely in their. It definitely fits their library of films. I mean, you see films like Grotesque, and this would fit into that kind of a mold. I don't think you'll find a movie like this on Netflix, but I'm glad to see that Shudder was able to pick it up and give it a release.
Yeah, I feel Shudder is really whoever their curators are really trying to find more interesting stuff. Because if you look at what they have in response to what's the other horror one that's out there?
I am glad Shudder
Shriller, but like their library is way more interesting.
Yeah.
Than any of those other ones.
Yeah, I would agree, and I think they're doing a really nice job. And the last
Screechbox is the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I actually looked at all those this weekend because a lot of them are so cheap, and I knew I was going to be sitting on my ass a lot. So I did do Scream Factory, but that was the only one where there was enough different stuff. Like all the good stuff that any one of those had were lesser stuff that was on Shudder.
Yeah.
Scream Factory's free too, isn't it?
It's $2.99, I think, only, which is might as well be free.
Can you stream anything in the catalog?
It's quite a bit.
Okay.
So there's probably 30 or 40 Mystery Science Theaters alone.
Wow.
And then the television is, I don't know, because of streaming license, it's like weird seasons, like season 2 of the show and season 4 of the show. But there's the whole, it's like it's just what they want to curate. Like right now, it's a lot of like I've been watching The Decline of Western Civilization, and there's a lot of Godzilla movies on there, and I downloaded a lot of Jackie Chan movies to watch in the hospital and stuff, because
it's not a lot of their Blu-rays and stuff though.
No, there's not a ton. It's 2 years ago's Blu-rays, right? So it's like Night of the Demons and Dreamscape, and there's a few Scream Factory ones there, but like nothing that I was like super like crazy about. Nomads.
Streaming rights is a whole other friggin' pain in the ass. I learned a lot about that. Jeff Nelson, who is the guy that runs Scream Factories in the documentary, we talked a little bit about like streaming, and he's like, getting the streaming rights for stuff is like an entirely different box of fucking shit you got to deal with.
Yeah, I can only imagine how kind of tangled that web is.
And I feel like there's the same conversation online all the time where, they're just like, why isn't there a digital copy? You know what I mean? Like, why isn't there, every time they come out with one, why can't I buy it digitally? Like, it just is not, like, even the digital distribution is like a different animal than like a physical distribution. Like,
real quick in the chat room, there's a couple comments I wanted to read. Cecil says, hey everyone, and Egyptians included, like MZ. And they says, I like those Flying Lotus music videos. And yeah, the ones I saw looked really, really interesting. He's got some pretty interesting directors working on them. And then he also said, hey, Wolfie, he says, Wolfie is impressed that Flying Lotus can trace his ancestry to an exact famous person. Unlike MZ. All right, one thing I forgot to do was I wanted to read through the stats on IMDb. So this flick is 1 hour, 35 minutes, drama, horror. Came out in 2017, and like I said, it's a Shudder exclusive. So if you guys have Shudder, you can check it out there. And it is directed by Flying Lotus and written by David Firth and Flying Lotus. And it stars a whole host of people. I'll just go through a few. It's got Hannibal Buress, George Clinton, David Firth, and let's see, Tim Heidecker from the Tim and Eric Show, and a bunch of other folks. Since this is sort of, I wouldn't call it an anthology, but it's got a lot of different kind of distinct little stories that they keep going back to. And it's a really simple synopsis. Events unfold after a devastating earthquake in Los Angeles. That's it.
What's the score on there?
What is the score?
Yeah, like the average
rating?
Score. I can't read it.
5.3 out of 10.
Well, I don't know about that.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty
bullshit artist.
That's a lot higher than I expected.
You're saying it's an hour 35?
Yes.
Because I'm looking at here and it says an hour 45. I don't know.
Right, IMDb lied.
Yeah. So which is the truth?
It's an hour and 35. That's,
it is an hour.
That's 35. What it says.
Okay.
Right here.
So how do we know that star rating is true?
Yeah. This
because
movie.
It's an aggregate of everyone who voted on it.
This movie's tremendous, Grandma Lotus.
But if you look at the reviews, it's like either 10 of 10 or 1 of 10. There's no middle ground.
Yeah. It's it's got a very polarizing.
Yeah. So this is that's where I sort of heard. Most of the people had told me this is a disgusting film. Even fucking Tim from Korea said this was worse than Taxidermia, which I actually don't know if I agree with that.
I think they're on the same level.
Taxidermia. It's up there.
But but there's there was a lot of talk about this film. A lot of people that saw it, mostly because it just showed up on Shudder. So and they were pushing it hard, So people.
Well, it got a lot of press because when they were screening it at
was it South by Southwest or yeah.
But people were just like walking out in like droves.
Yeah.
So it got very like, got notorious for that, kind of like Raw did last year. But then the other thing was then the guy that I don't know if it was the writer or the producer, then went and said some dumb shit about like
the
well,
writer.
I don't know, but said some dumb shit about how it was just the people that were walking out were racist, and it was white people that were turning their backs on a black movie or something along those lines. It's ridiculous. I don't know. Ask Monster Zero; he'll be able to tell you.
Yeah, give us.
Yeah, what's no, Jesus Christ.
Why don't you give us your perspective?
All right. Well, you know what? This was
as a 1% black man.
You know what? This is a hard movie to sit through merely by the fact that the storyline is so paper thin. It comes across though as if it's just an eclectic array of nothing but gross out jokes and gross out humor. But with no real narrative involved. I mean, they talk about, you said it was an earthquake that hits Los Angeles, devastating earthquake that hits Los Angeles. And really, there's very little, if nothing at all, that signifies that.
It's the thing at the beginning, the counter that
giant song.
The what?
Yeah, and they show the
Geiger counter.
No, that's the radiation.
Right.
What do they call the thing that shows the
seismograph?
Seismograph, yeah. That's the only.
That's right. Okay.
And the news people talking about it every while. They just mention it and say there was an earthquake. That doesn't really allude to there being an earthquake.
Well, it's CNN. They could be lying.
Slow down,
Fake
fellow.
news. Fake news. Fake news. Fellow. But okay, all right. Well, let's go with that then. But still, it's really not much to hinge on because it's just mentioned at the beginning of the film, and it's really not strictly adhered to throughout the rest of the film. It just happens to be a bunch of weird things going on. With bizarre animation, almost in a Monty Python-esque sort of style.
All it was it just was a setup. It's if you look at it, I wouldn't look at this as an anthology, but if you look at it like an anthology, it was kind of like the sort of impetus for all these things happening. That's it.
So, it's your wraparound story.
Yeah.
I think movies like, although not anywhere near as quote unquote disgusting as this movie, but films like Kentucky Fried Movie or Tunnel Vision, I think did a much better job at this. As far as the gross out factor goes, I don't think so. I've seen much grosser than this.
Yeah, I didn't think it was so as bad as other people were saying.
I was trying to think of the movie that we reviewed, and you mentioned it, Taxidermia, and I found Taxidermia to be much more of a gross out film than this. Of course, Pink Flamingos, to me, Pink Flamingos is still the bar that is set as far as gross out films go. There's really nothing here that sticks to you, though.
Are you sure?
I'm quite sure.
Literally, I think there is.
I'm quite sure.
We saw early on.
I mean, we saw a bunch of pustules. We saw a bunch of bizarre, weird body horror sort of things going on, and it just really didn't have any. There was just something missing from it. There was just. All you had was a bunch of things oozing shit, and we're supposed to be
somebody shat a giant
flabbergasted
insect
by that. What?
George Clinton shat an insect.
Shit an insect.
Giant, yeah. And then I'm like, this took a turn.
Yeah,
this took a turn.
That's nothing.
It took a turn.
It took you that long to get to the point where it took a turn?
Well,
you could find
the giant anus in the woods. I was like,
we're watching right now. I mean, and you're right. Yeah,
you could find much worse in a trauma film. Okay,
it definitely reminded me of a trauma film. A very pretty one. I mean, it shot well.
No. I think as far as that goes, this is better than Trauma because at least this has some sort of artistic merit to it. I mean, it looks good. Something like this, I think it looks good. I think it's very well articulated. I think it's well sculpted and everything. But the overall effect of it trying to be gross,
it's
I
trying.
think it falls short.
That's the problem. It's trying.
Yeah.
No, this
tries too hard from time to time.
Bless you.
Bless you.
You know what this reminded me of?
What?
In the parts of it anyway, and the thing it reminded me of was much better than this is the last segment in the first ABCs of Death.
Which one was that?
Z is for
Wow, you always go back to
Zygote.
that movie.
Zygote.
Yeah.
Z is for Zygote, yeah.
Yeah.
I always go back to ABCs of Death. Are you sure?
It's always.
Yeah, I don't even remember ever
Yeah.
going back to it.
Oh, I remember.
I think you're getting messed up with VHS 2. That's my anthology bar.
VHS, ABCs, 1, 2, 3s.
Because it's awesome.
That's right.
Hashtag never forget.
I'm Juggernaut, bitch.
What-
That reminded me of this. But yeah, that's the thing. This tried too hard, and there was a lot of stuff in it that was just like not. Was just.
There was no real reason behind any of it.
Well, no. I mean, I mean, in that sense, that was by design. But and there was a lot like I don't know, like it just is not.
The animation was okay. I mean, it's very, like I said, it's very Monty Python-esque. A lot of CGI tits and a lot of stop-motion animation and a lot of
Animation was
cut
the
and
best thing.
paste. And
What was that, Bill?
I thought that the animation was the best part of the movie
I
because it was
agree.
the only thing that I could actually like watch and be like, all right, I can appreciate what's going on here. Everything else just felt so friggin' sophomoric, but
Yeah.
it was when you were in school, there was that really pompous arty kid that was like a weirdo, but everybody liked, and like thought everything that he did was on the next level, but was really just the same as what everyone else was doing.
Right.
That's what this movie is like to me.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree. I agree 1,000,000%. Like it was, it wasn't shocking to me. There are some things that'll get me even in a poor version of it, like eating things and poop things. I can't do them. But
I don't like eating and poop, and I don't like shit on your mouth.
yeah, but like
You're not watching scat porn then, apparently.
stopped. It stopped being shocking because it was so sophomoric.
yeah.
That's how I felt like because I was just at some point I was like, come on guys, I just feel like
Well, to me, it was never really shocking. I mean, I think, unfortunately, this film falls in a time where the internet, you are capable of watching just about everything and anything. You have access to the real shit that the real stuff that
The real
this
Kuso.
film,
Yeah.
the real that this film is trying to portray. And out of curiosity, a lot of people would have seen that stuff. Now,
Not a lot
according
of
to a lot of people that haven't seen that and they think this is gross out, all right, I can understand that.
Yeah,
but
it definitely depends on your mileage with the
Right.
show.
Wait,
Exactly.
You can watch asses in trees with like dicks coming out of it. And people
What, you can't?
All right.
Haven't you ever been to Oz?
when I watched for the first time, Even Dwarfs started small. It's a fucking weird movie, right?
Yeah.
That's a classic
But I
flick.
didn't feel like it was like jumping out. It was just, it was the movie it was, and it happened to be weird. Even something outlandish in like over the top, like Forbidden Zone. Like I just felt like that was the movie that they made, and it happened. Like the people who made it, that was their aesthetic, and it was weird. And in this, I felt like they didn't have to make a full-length movie to a degree because there wasn't a linear plot, right? And B, they were trying to be weird and gross. Like it was just an exercise in how weird and gross they could be, mixed in with the fact that I feel like all of the N-word in it was designed to try to make...
Well, I was speaking directly to MZ.
Well, yeah. Jesus.
They knew, man. I don't know how they knew, but they knew.
But I mean, I felt like it was and I'm not particular. I'm a big blaxploitation fan, and I'm not particularly sensitive, but I felt like they were trying to irritate a more enlightened audience. You know what I mean? Like they were trying to be an agitator.
The most interesting characters in this movie, and I thought this was really, really cool, were the two beings that were like furry, but they had the animation faces.
It was like they had monitors for faces.
Yeah, monitors for. I thought that was really, really cool. I did, because they didn't try to use like CGI. It looked like it was done like actual animation.
The only thing that I really loved in this whole movie was the scene with the Mortal Kombat.
Oh
sound effects. Like that was the only the only thing that I found A, marginally shocking, and B, got like a chuckle out of from the shockingness of it. Now it could be that I've been playing Mortal Kombat all day every day for the last couple of weeks, but like
I think for me this film, so I will say I was strangely transfixed by this film. I can't really
turned on.
Well, we'll get there, Bill. No.
Oh yeah.
I knew it. I can't really explain it because I just felt, and in no way, please let me preface this by saying, in no way am I comparing Flying Lotus to Kurosawa. But recently I had watched...
But I'm going to compare Flying Lotus to Kurosawa.
No.
I'm going to give you a B trigger right now.
Recently I had watched Dreams, Akira Kurosawa's Dreams.
Very good. Very good.
I fucking love and is one of my favorite movies.
Oh, it's so good.
Very good.
And in the beginning, it basically states this film was made based on the dreams of Akira Kurosawa. And one of the things that I thought while watching this, I wonder if there's some sort of like... maybe I think we're getting an insight into Flying Lotus's, into his subconsciousness or his dreams, and maybe he's got some weird fucking kinks. I don't know, but I really think that this is just a piece of surreal cinema, and I think that it's shocking. I think it's more shocking than it needs to be on purpose to sort of like get people thinking. I don't know if that's what he was thinking, if that was the target and the goal, but that's sort of what I was thinking at the time when I was watching it. And like I said, this film is fucking ridiculous. There is some really crazy, just absolutely crazy shit that happens in it, and a lot of it doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. It does seem gratuitous for gratuitous sake,
a lot of sense,
or shock for shock's sake. But
yeah,
it's got a lot of Lynchian vibe to it as far as the dream-like.
I think it's got a lot of wannabe
right.
vibe. Like it feels phony. The thing with I can get down with surreal stuff like stuff like what's that Méliès Black Moon. Or
is
like
that the one about the end of time one? The end of the
the weird like talking horse and stuff.
I saw that after you guys talked about it. Actually,
it's a great movie. Or like like Holy Mountain, and like I can get down with surreal stuff, but stuff like this this movie pissed me off.
No, I agree.
Because
and just the last point, and then I'll let you go, Bill. Is I also feel like because he composes for Adult Swim, I have a feeling that there's a sense of that influence his work. Is if you guys watch the Tim and Eric Show or any Adult Swim stuff, it's very cutting edge and bizarre for the sake of being bizarre at times. So I do think that was also an influence.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's the Tim and Eric stuff is like the stoner nerd fun hour or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like this was supposed to be kind of like an urban version of that. And then he had Tim in the film too, so it was like as I'm watching it, I'm just like, I was trying to figure out, when I watch surreal stuff, like you trying to figure out where they're trying to go with it. I mean, yeah, they're not telling your ordinary narrative, point A, point B, point C, but they're always, they're trying to go somewhere with it. But this movie, I literally just felt like he just took a bunch of ideas, mashed them together, because it's about five intersetting stories or so. And here's the thing is, we've been talking about this movie now for 20, 25 minutes. We haven't actually even said really anything about the film itself.
Right.
Because there's nothing to say. It's a bunch of weird imagery.
Yeah.
There's
it's just a bunch of skits.
Yeah, there's an anus in the woods. There's an Asian lady that falls down and gets attached to a black woman at the legs. There's what's the
couple.
Yeah, the black couple, the guy that likes to get choked out and have pus squirted on him.
And then there's the pregnant junkie woman.
Yep.
Yeah, the pregnant junkie one. And it's just like none of the stories go anywhere. So I'm like, what's the point? And then that there's people, and it's funny because me and Dynamo were talking back and forth the other day. I asked him if he had watched it, and he's like, I haven't watched it yet. I'm like, oh man, it is fucking brutal to get through. I don't mean brutal in terms of like grossness. I mean, I've seen grosser stuff in this too, but it's such a chore because I'm sitting there and I'm like, that there's people that think this shit is wicked fucking deep, and it's like, everything's got a meaning, everything's got a point, and it's like I go back to shit like fucking Serbian film when it's like, oh, it's about the plight of the Serbian people. It's like, what type of spin is Flying Lotus trying to put on this shit? Oh, it's about the oppression in the inner city, and like there's that side of it, but like at the end of the day, it's just fucking bad. Like the five of us could go into the woods. We could grab Blinkhorn and we could go out into the woods and we could film something that's just as good as this and just as gross as this, and spin some yarn around it about how important it is and how it speaks to the plight of a 1%.
Bill, don't say important films around Raven Shadow.
No, I mean, this is an important film, Bill. I think this...
I have a question for you guys, and I know Bill is going to agree with me because I think we might have even talked about it, but I'm not sure. But what I thought of when I saw this was, if you look at the things when a movie comes out, right? That specifically something that's supposed to be like an art house thing, or something that's like gender bending art house thing, like say Human Centipede, or Serbian film, something that takes like a life of its own, or even QT films, right? Like if you make a list of the water cooler offensive stuff that will get people talking, this film pretty much checks all those like boxes, right? Like shit, the N-word,
dicks,
drug use, the
weird artist director,
abortions. You know what I mean? Like this has like all those, dicks.
I said dicks.
Yeah. So, you show a dick in a movie, and everybody fucking lose their mind. Right? Yeah. So
semen.
So this bodily fluids. So this has all that stuff, with the exception of I would say a lot of excessive violence. This has all that stuff, and it just seems box checky to me, and almost like the opposite sort of thing. But when I saw Old Man Logan, I was counting all the action tropes of the day. You know what I mean? Here's the motorcycle chase, and it's his nice black suit that he has on.
Very cliched.
Yeah, and for all the stuff that's awesome, like these banana split monsters with the monitor faces and stuff like that. There's just a lot of stuff where it's you're trying too hard. You're trying too hard, and I think the biggest thing of it trying so hard is that it actually does go back to the different narratives, which sort of makes, almost betrays the I feel like, in my opinion, I could be wrong. I wasn't there when somebody quote unquote wrote this, but the scattershot mission statement of this. You know what I mean? They almost fell back on traditional narrative storytelling because they're not weird. They're trying to be weird.
And when they're not smart enough to go there with it.
Right, and when you're trying to be weird, you run out of ideas. You know what I mean? It's not obviously a different thing, but somebody mentioned Cronenberg before. Cronenberg wasn't making weird movies. He was making movies, and they happened to be weird. So those movies are fucking... I'm stealing somebody else's expression here. I can't remember. I think Cody might have said it on something, but I forgot the expression now because I tried to figure out who did it, but from tip to stern, because that's who they are. You know what I mean? When Herzog makes a movie, or Jodorowsky makes a movie, that's who he is. In this, it runs out of steam because they're trying to be fucking weird. Right. Or it falls back on almost like in low budget movie things, it falls back on a couple of things.
It's got to be the weirdness has got to be organic.
Right.
It cannot be made up by a bunch of different people who's just trying to outdo each other.
Well, I think this was
made up by one person. Yeah.
No, but I mean, what I'm saying is that a good director always. Well, I shouldn't say a good director, but a director always takes advice from a bunch of other people that are working on the film. If they think that this idea works, then they'll go with that. If somebody comes up with another idea and they think that works, they'll go with that. So to think that one person thought of all of this organically you'll be fooling yourself.
Well, he thought of it organically in the way that he thought of it, right? Like if he wrote it down on a fucking piece of yellow notebook paper, or he, like recorded it on his voice recorder, someone made it up. But it wasn't like I have this idea, like it was like I bet and I could be wrong, like I don't know, like fucking Mr. Lotus can fucking call and give me a Paul Burnell style fucking tongue lashing, but I feel like the last thing that came with this movie was the earthquake gimmick. Like I feel like they, like he had all these fucking dumb ideas to gross people out, and then had a reason to
he had
string it
have
together.
something to anchor it.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing.
Dicks were cute for a minute.
I thought the same thing. I thought that that the earthquake idea was the very last thing that they thought of, because they just needed something to tie it all together.
I disagree.
Yeah, no.
I think that was one of the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like you kind of like this, which makes me feel like you're the kid carrying that pretentious kid's books right now.
You're really right, Jimmy. You're so smart. You're so smart, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Do you like monocles?
Tell him, Steve Dave.
I feel like monocles.
Here's your top hat, sir.
Yeah, like I feel like the guy that made this is the character in Brick that wears the cape. Like I feel like that's who I like before I realized today in the chat that an actual entity in another artistic form made this. Like,
if you want to see a movie that has a bunch of strange ideas strung together, check out a movie like Head.
Check out a movie like Butt Crack.
That's a great movie.
Little film called Blood Pigs.
Has anybody ever seen Head?
The Monkeys
are
movie?
you kidding? I
Yeah, the
fucking love
Monkeys
Head.
movie. It's awesome. Yeah,
Man, that's Drevin
It's
Scott.
awful, but it's a lot lot fun.
yeah, it's very trippy.
Let me just read a couple things real quick. From
But
the
I feel
chat.
like that's kind of the same. Sorry, Wolfie.
There's a lot of chatter about this in the chat room. So I think it's maybe the first time he's popped in the chat room, or at least last time. I know it's been a while if it hasn't, but Jason Hodge is hanging out. What's up, Jason?
Wow.
And Jason says it was a 95-minute long shit cum reference. It was empty and immature. I had trouble feeling grossed out because it was so try hard.
Agreed.
Yeah, try hard with a vengeance.
That's good. And let's see what else we have here. First time Mike says it was sometimes more of an endurance test than a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Creepy Girl says, I just thought there would be some meaning behind it all. If there was, I didn't get it.
No, there was none.
nothing creepy.
Nothing.
First time Mike says it was a barrage of visuals meant to shock you, I think.
Right, but failed. And I agree it was an endurance test, but not for the reasons, not like in the way Serbian film was an endurance test, just because it was like, honestly, I had made a joke about the length of this to Wolfie, and then later on, I realized like that I'm like, well, it's got to be wrapping up, and I was going out to eat, and I was like, oh yeah, come grab me, and like I paused it for a second to kind of put my shoes on, and I realized that I still had fucking 45 minutes left, and I really thought like I was done, and I was like, what the fuck, like
I couldn't tell you anything that happened in this movie after probably the 40-minute mark because I was so bored and so tuned out with it.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you what happened.
Yeah, I don't see anybody remembering this movie a year from now.
Really? I think this is a very memorable film, even if you hated it.
Yeah.
But
Are you going to remember the anus in the woods for the rest of your life?
I don't know, because I'll tell you why.
The sequel to Cabin in the Woods.
I'll tell you why. At some point, I'm going to see enough stuff that this is going to get pushed out because it's not in the same way that I've seen enough real Grindhouse movies and good Grindhouse revival even, that I can't tell you a single fucking thing about Dear God No, except that we watched it, right? Like it's gonna.
You remember the sexy dicks were cute for a minute.
I don't remember what that was in reference to though.
The Richard Nixon masks, the girls with the boobs hanging out.
But I won't. But like if I saw, like I could see myself seeing a section of this, like this, right, and not remembering what it was from. Like I'm like.
Or what it's referencing.
Yeah, like I don't. I think that's what not knowing what it's from means. but like,
I listen in and out. Don't worry.
You've
About
tried-
yeah. But I just don't. It's because you forgot to mention that you're 1% Moloch too.
Yeah, you hid that from us.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I don't care. That's the main thing. Like I will remember till the day I die that dwarf can't get on the bed because his fucking foos is stifling, right? But I will not remember a fucking thing about this in 8 months.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll ask you in 8 months.
It just seems like,
in the woods.
hey, what if we had a guy? Yeah, a guy, and he was afraid of tits. Like, it just has that. It's just so juvenile. Like, it has nothing to hang its head on. So when, like, imagery or something that's kind of might be funny in thing or really good animation, like, it just falls back to, like, fucking stupid, dumb. You know what I mean? Like, just dumb. Like, I feel bad saying that about somebody's movie that has some flourishes of, like, there's nothing visually bad here. Like, maybe not pleasing imagery, but there's nothing, like, inept here.
Right.
It's just ideas.
There is some skill behind the camera.
Yeah, technically, it's fine. Even grossness is shot adequately.
Just the ideas are just so, like, we'll have him, like, what, like the shit that happened. Remember, Wolfie, when we were trying to name the album, and we, like, wrote, like we wrote all this fucking stupid shit, like, on a dry erase board, and, like, you know, like, they were just, like, the most ridiculous things that came to mind.
Yeah.
Like, this is, like, all those dumb ideas that you just say and no one thinks of, and there was no one telling him that that's not what this is. I impaled a baby. I impaled a nun with my razor, with my razor cock, or dead baby fetus.
This is absolutely all his vision. I mean, he did this himself, as far as I'm aware.
Right.
And put it out on his. He created his own label, and now there's a film division. And you know, for someone's debut film, I'm sure he's had this stuff built up in his head. So I think you're right. I think that he had all these ideas and decided to put it into one movie.
Right.
Now, you know what this movie is? This is a movie fan who has watched all of your popular, like, horror movies and, like, your popular genre cinema, and then stumbled across a Jodorowsky movie and was like, I could make a movie like that.
Without
understanding what it really means and where it comes from.
Yeah, it's like
passion.
Yeah, it's like seeing Holy Mountain, but not seeing Holy Mountain.
This is almost like this film is the way it progresses is almost like John Carpenter's The Thing. No.
Mars is leaving.
No.
Shut up! I want to hear this.
No. I'm not talking about the movie The Thing itself. I'm talking about The Thing, the title creature, where it just continues to grow and grow and grow, and for unexplainable reasons, you know, like a part of its body will will start growing, and then something will happen out of that, and it, you know, it's almost kind of like a tree. You know, it just sprouts, and it just
like a
grows.
family ancestral tree?
Yes, and it just grows and grows and grows into these various areas, and it just doesn't stop, and it's just there for the sake of being there without any real reason.
1-800-RAT-FUCK.
I gotta yank your stupid little aspirin out like a butt plug and give it to that little bug right there. You know you
Gonga bonga.
Wow. Yo, straight up, fuck this movie.
This movie reminds me of Jaws. Not the film, but the shark. It's all swimming around.
You ready? After I say this, Q Buster. If I die, this will be my master stroke. This movie reminds me of Jaws. Not the movie, but the shark, because it doesn't work.
Tag team partner.
Q Buster.
No.
Down boys life.
Down boys, baby.
There's so much talk in the chat room, I can't even keep up. Let me see if there's any other. They're talking about the Beyond right now.
It's that engaging, huh?
Yeah, I think they're going off on a tangent. Okay. So I'm not going to catch up. Okay, so let me just see if there's anything else we need to discuss before we head to the verdict on this.
No.
Why? Rachel, you haven't said anything.
Yeah.
Because it sucks. It sucks. I don't like cold sores. I don't like feces. I don't like, and even at the end, I can appreciate a good cum gag as much as the next guy, but it's fucking gross.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's not the
so much tonight. We learned about MZ's ancestry, and we learned that Raven Shadow doesn't like shit on his lips.
Yeah, or even anyone's lips. I don't like that. I don't like that. And I mean, like, you're covering on a very special episode 500 of the OTC. It's kind of like if someone fucked Elmer.
Elmer's
Elmer?
glue?
What's his name?
Aylmer.
Aylmer.
I do feel bad that
Aylmer's glue.
Yeah, it's like fucking basket case.
with the Wednesday Night Wars coming, that we really made Scott's job super easy this episode.
Oh, yeah. Well, he didn't know I was coming on tonight. It was kind of a last-minute plan, so.
He said he's always listening.
Yeah, sure he is. Listening to himself. I don't even think he listens to the OTC episodes anymore. He just waits for his fast forwards his segment and then turns it off.
That was a good episode.
I was awesome on that episode.
Ganga Bong.
Ganga Bong. We should have fucking watched Ganga Bong.
Did you guys like the credits at the end?
No.
I didn't even watch them.
The credits dripping down the wall.
Yeah, credits.
Cum credits.
It's interesting. It's very avant-garde. You know, I don't know, man.
I found it to be very Sam Peckinpah-ish.
Yes, it was very Sam Peckinpah.
Sam Peckerpaw.
Very Steven Spielberg.
Peckerpaw.
The real question is, can you rent this at Mont Video?
So before we head to the verdict, one other thing I wanted to mention was, so Shudder is pushing this one pretty hard. It's on the front, like when you open up Shudder, it's the main sort of block at the top, and they've been pushing this hard on their social media.
Jeez, I still have the Ghost movie.
And I think it's because this film is being talked about quite a bit. Like in our circles, I've seen a lot of people kind of discuss it. Most people hate it from what I've seen, but obviously, I'm curious to see if this movie is getting them if they're actually getting subscriptions from this movie. Because
they get going to sign up for the trial and then cancel the subscription.
It's true, yeah. Oh, this is the kind of shit that they're putting on there? Fuck this.
Fuck these guys.
It's the type of Kuso they're putting on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, well, I guess we'll head to the verdict now because I think we've exhausted the discussion, so let's head there.
Without saying anything about the actual
Trick or treat, baby.
I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, verdict time. We're going to let you know whether this flick was a trick or a treat and any final thoughts we may have. Raven Shadow.
Listen, I mean, when Karando let us know last week that Kuso is Japanese for shit, I kind of figured I wouldn't enjoy this film. And I watched it. I had a really great weekend. You know what I mean?
Did you watch this with A New Hope?
No, she's no.
Because she might have left.
Yeah, this is not for her. But no, we had a nice dinner on Friday. Saw Dynamo and Aries on day after Saturday. Sunday, we had a nice fine dinner. Saw The Garbage and the Blondie show.
Did you see Miss M there?
I didn't see Miss M. I saw the Rev. I didn't see
that must have caused some friction.
Business was about to pick up.
Hey, now.
And even, Shirley Manson was dressed like Nakamura. It was sexy. I go to A New Hope. I'm like, she's dressed like Nakamura. And she said, who? And I said, he's awesome. And it was nice. And went to the pool. Got a little suntan at my parents' house Monday. So
You did not get a suntan.
A little color. My balls.
Oh, not like him, though.
Yeah, no.
You're so white I can see through you.
Well, that's fair. I'm just
Yeah, don't do your ancestral DNA test. You'll be disappointed.
Just be a ghost.
1% apparition.
pretty good, Johnny. That's a fucking juggernaut right there.
Yeah, it's a juggernaut, bitch.
Did I mention I'm also European Jewish?
L'chaim.
So Tuesday, I watched this. A dude made a movie. Trick.
All right, MZ. Wow, I thought you were gonna fucking love this.
I really thought that you were backing the Jurger over there.
No, it was just a case of just trying too hard with a paper thin storyline with nothing to really tie it all together. It just came across as sophomoric. There's nothing really intelligent about it at all. There's nothing, not even smart. An 11-year-old could have come up with these jokes, and all this gross out humor. Couple of interesting scenes, but other than that, really nothing to sink your teeth into. This was a test to watch, and not because of the gross out humor either. This was a tough movie to watch, and I didn't like it. And this is a trick.
Wow,
my man wants to zero.
Mars Man.
This movie's in the clud. Trick.
It's in the clud. All right, Bill.
Fuck this movie.
Is that it?
I mean,
fuck.
It is pretty clear.
And the music wasn't even good. Yeah. Like the score, like the music in the movie. I mean, for Flying Lotus to be the guy that does the I don't know if he did. Maybe he didn't even do the music, but like
he did some, yeah. And it was,
like the music wasn't memorable. It didn't set the mood. It just fucking anus in the woods. Suck it.
Make some noise.
Anus.
All right, so.
Oh shit. Let's go.
I loved it. I thought it was very intellectual, and it made my penis hard.
Monocle.
Tepid treat. I'm saying it. I'm saying it. I'm saying it.
You are such an ass.
You're an
Why?
asshole.
Because
You're an asshole.
Watch forever. Watch forever. I honestly can't explain it. I was strangely,
well, you better explain it.
Strangely transfixed by this movie. I literally watched it. I watched Dreams a night before, and then watched this. And after listening to a bunch of his music, I felt that I was in the right mood to sort of understand some of what was going on. And it was
full of shit.
It was disgusting. There was some really brutal stuff in this that I probably will never want to watch this ever again. But you know what? It reminded me a little bit of a more sort of X-rated Liquid TV. And I guess some Adult Swim as well. But more like Liquid TV, I think. And I don't know. Like, there was definitely some interesting artistry going on here. And I'm super interested to see if Flying Lotus is going to do films after this. I think with some of the buzz that's been around this, positive or negative, I think that he'll probably do something else. I would love to see something a little bit more linear. Like, I'd like to see him craft a story and to tell that, because there's definitely some talent behind that camera. And I think he did some very interesting stuff. I didn't like all of it, that's for sure. Some of it was pretty difficult to watch at times, but I don't know. Like I said, I was transfixed. I can't really explain it. And I think that's just art. It hit me at the right time. Whereas if I watched this like maybe on another week, I might have hated it. I don't know. But it just kind of hit me at the right time, and I thought it was interesting. So I'm going to go with a tepid treat.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see Kuso number 2 coming real soon.
Number 2?
Yes.
Shit, number 2? So
more runnier.
All right, well, that's going to do it. I was the only one on the positive side. You guys all hated it. I was shocked, MZ. I thought for sure you were going to at least give it a tepid treat.
No.
So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for the review.
No.
I wanted to do another movie next week, but I think we'll have to let's do one that just hit VOD, and we'll get to the other one the week after, or the week after that, actually. So next week, let's do the film we're going to do is Trent Haga's new film, MZ.
Sweet.
Speaking of trauma.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's not a Troma film.
He used to work with Troma.
Yeah, he's not in Troma anymore.
So did James
James
Gunn.
Gunn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't.
Joe Lynch too.
Joe Lynch.
Joe
Yeah.
Lynch.
So
I love Joe Lynch.
don't
Samuel
worry.
L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Lemmy.
Kadeem Hardison.
That's right.
We could go, Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
There you go.
Could go on and on.
There you go.
Fuck, I forgot her name. The cute VJ from MTV.
Kennedy.
Kennedy.
No.
Kennedy.
Oh, I love
Kennedy.
Martha Quinn.
Martha Quinn, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
She was
yeah.
in Chopper Chicks and Zombie too.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh shit.
And Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
She was MTV VJ?
No, she was in. She was in a Troma film.
Which one?
Toxic Avenger.
No, she was.
Yeah, she was.
Oh, this came up. In the. Can we see it? She was in the gym, right? She kind of walked out.
I think so. Yeah, I think
she
that
was
was
a
it.
little
Yeah.
She was
girl.
coming out of the shower.
Yeah.
But she didn't.
She had
get
a
down.
towel around her. She had a towel around her, and that's when she met the Toxic Avenger and just screamed, and that was her role.
That's right. She's good in it.
You don't even know.
I do know she was good in it.
She was good in it. All she did was scream, and that was it.
Well, she was. Well, she didn't fucking fight a house.
Cecil says right on. Wolfie was on that Kurosawa level when he watched it. and they said, yeah, Liquid TV. Hopefully not Robot Chicken.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you some stuff to be on the fucking level.
I think a lot of people were popping for the Liquid TV reference. Carlos said he loved Liquid TV. Jason Hodge says I like the comparison to Liquid TV. So, all right, well we're done talking about that Kuso. But next week we're gonna do 68 Kill, a brand new flick that just hit VOD. It played at the Boston Underground Film Fest, but MZ and I unfortunately missed it. But it did play there. We're gonna check out 68 Kill, Trent Haga's new flick, and we'll do that one next week. And then the week after that, Bill.
Booyah!
It is time once again for the Wednesday Night Wars.
I want to go where the down boys go.
So on the 16th, that'll be episode 264. We're going to do the Wednesday Night Wars, and so I guess we'll talk about it off air, Bill, because I know you guys have a different schedule now. So
No, we're doing it. No, it'll be the same Wednesday night.
Oh, okay.
Guys, we'll do them back to back.
Okay, cool, awesome.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to fuck with that. That's a good dynamic. It doesn't. I don't want to mess with that.
Okay, cool. I dig it. So we're gonna do. We'll hold off on the flick. I'm pretty sure what we're gonna be doing, but we'll just hold off. We'll hold off till next week. But we're gonna be doing a pretty.
Yeah, ours are all set. I've got them. I got your guys' copies ready to go. So.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead and announce them? Then I guess we can do it.
Yeah. On the OTC episode, we're gonna do a film from 1987 called Hammerhead Jones.
Oh, nice.
I don't really know. I don't know too much about it. I know it's a movie about like a down on his luck wrestler that was made on the cheap in Florida in the 80s, so it should be pretty gross.
So
and the other flick is the 2007 release, which I also don't think got an actual U.S. release. The Mil Massacres Resurrection.
Oh wow!
First film in 20 years he did. So those are the two we're gonna do on OTC.
Very cool. And so what we're going to do, this is the first time we've announced a movie 2 weeks in advance. We're going to do this interesting little gem I found from 78? Let me double check that date. And it is 68. I'm sorry, 1968. And it is an Italian film, Raven Shadow.
You're welcome.
But it is kind of aping the whole El Santo thing. So it is an Italian-Mexican wrestling movie called Goldface, the Fantastic Superman.
That's a fucking movie.
See the poster?
That's a fucking fantastic poster. It's a fantastico poster.
Fantastico?
Fantastico.
El Fantastico.
And it is available on YouTube. There's a dubbed version on YouTube for you guys if you want to check it out.
Nice.
So if anyone wants to, go look for Goldface, the Fantastic Superman on YouTube, and we're going to review that in 2 weeks.
Good.
For the Wednesday Night Wars.
I'm going to watch it tomorrow.
Right.
So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for the film review business, and we're going to head to a break in just a moment. Bill, it is late. I don't know if you're going to hang around or we're going to see you.
I got to be in Framingham, Massachusetts tomorrow at 6 a.m. So
holy shit!
I'm going to call it a night.
Yes, you better. All right. So, and we'll see you in 2 weeks anyway. So.
No, baby.
We'll catch up with you. But thanks, man. First of all, obviously I apologize things didn't work out with last week. We had so much going on that I was so worried about getting Skype up and running for our Corando interview that I just screwed the pooch on that one.
It's all good. Honestly, this worked out better. I mean, being part of Monster Z's big announcement. That's your rap name.
Monster Z.
Monsta Z.
Monster
Z. No, being part of that now, that was great. I mean, I found out about Raven Shadow not liking shit on his lips. Great. I mean, no.
What a fucking weirdo, Raven Shadow.
Yeah, really.
I'm fucking a problem.
Ass to mouth ain't your thing, is it?
No, but I meant what I said earlier. You guys are obviously all friends of mine, like real friends of mine. So I love that you're keeping on trucking with it and continuing to do good shows each and every week. Because like I said, most show it's so tough. I mean, I know.
Yeah.
It's so tough to come in every week and still be on point and be funny and sometimes you just get those movies like tonight's movie. At least like it's as bad as we all thought it was. It's fun to talk about, but I know you get them too. Where there's movies you're just like, I got nothing I can fucking say about this, but you guys always put on an entertaining show every week, regardless of how shitty the content can be sometimes.
Well, we appreciate that, Bill, and like Mars had said last week, that you guys were absolutely a big inspiration to us, and your friendship has meant a lot to us, and has shaped the show as well. So we're very thankful for the influence that you guys have had, and we love you and Chris, and we're super excited for Survival of the Film Freaks as well.
Yeah.
So, and Rock and Chalk is going to be a fucking blast. I'm so glad that you guys are going to be there.
Yeah,
burn that mother down.
Yeah, and if we're back to back, if our booths are next to each other, fucking look out. It's going to be
fucking gonna go
hellish
off.
time.
It's gonna
Yeah,
fucking go off.
We gotta talk to some peeps.
Yeah, we got and we got a lot of people coming this year too. So I'm looking forward to it. So if that puts you over the top, guys, if hanging out with Bill and will Kyle be in town by then?
Oh yeah, Kyle's
Awesome.
coming in too.
Cool.
Kyle will be back in Connecticut at the end of the week.
Oh wow! Oh shit! I didn't realize it was that soon. That's awesome. So Bill and Kyle from Survival of the Film Freaks, and as we heard last week, Reverend Scott announced that he's going to be there as well. We got Joshua Libre, all OTC kind of crossover with Trick or Treat Radio, so it's going to be a blast. So if you guys were on the fence about going to Rock and Shock, get off that fucking fence and make your plans right now because it's going to be a blast. So Bill,
go where the down boys go.
That's right. Bill, thanks so much, man, and we'll catch you again in 2 weeks for the Wednesday Night Wars.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You got it, bud. Take care, man.
Bye-bye.
See
you, bud. Thank
Later.
you.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back in a few moments.
One dark and stormy night in the mid-'80s, Joe Bob Briggs, Harlan Ellison, and the ghost of El Santo pulled a train on Elvira while Siskel and Ebert sobbingly masturbated in the corner. From that union arose the greatest movie critic and luchador that ever lived. But we're not going to talk about him. He's kind of a dick. Instead, we're going to talk about me, El Goro, the stuttering movie fan and host of the Talk Without Rhythm podcast. Every week on Talk Without Rhythm, I discuss 2 to 3 movies tangentially tied together by a theme. I cover action.
I'm the most complete fighter in the world.
Sci-fi.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Horror.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
And the continuing adventures of James Spader, sexual deviant.
You're not worried that I'm going to fuck you, are you? I'm not interested in that, not in the least. Now pull up your skirt.
So check me out at tworpodcast.blogspot.com, drunkenzombie.com, or subscribe on iTunes. Talk Without Rhythm, the only podcast that will not attract the worm. Adios.
I'm Alex West.
And I'm Andrea Subasati, and we're from the Faculty of Horror podcast.
And you're listening to Trick or Treat Radio.
Oh, delicious nerds. Ms. M knows you like to chat it up with other sexy shut-ins about comics, movies, video games, and your favorite TV shows. If that sounds like you, cuddle up to the Trick or Treat Radio Facebook group, or the FIB. That stands for Fan Interaction Board. Just go to Facebook and search for Trick or Treat Radio and have more fun than a Jedi at a lightsaber sale. Not enough? Watch us on YouTube, The Deadites TV, all one word. Last but not least, check out the world's most dangerous talk radio show, Trick or Treat Radio, at trickortreatradio.com.
We're back on Trick or Treat Radio. Thanks to Bill. That was kind of, I wouldn't say impromptu, but we kind of figured it out earlier today, and I didn't know that he had seen Kuso, so it all worked out.
Yeah. It's
Always,
good having him on.
Yeah, always fucking great to talk to Bill, and I'm so, like, as if I couldn't be more excited for Rock and Shock Weekend. He made me even more excited, so that's fucking awesome. I'm so glad that he and Kyle are gonna have a booth there. It's gonna be great. So, Jason Hodge says, "Ooh, what is this song? Do you want to tell him?"
I came in late. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It was Doc Quiddity.
Oh, yeah, that is a song about mixing. I almost said James Gibson again. Mixing.
It's a Deadite song,
right? Yeah, it's, our band, the Deadites,
written by us. Yep.
And it's about William Gibson and Clive Barker matchup. It's about being able to be plugged directly into the art.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually recorded it and just about 6 months ago. But that recording session is when I learned my voice, because I had been singing live, was an illusion, my range. And I mean, in general, I can't sing very well, but this was really, I realized just how damaged my voice was because my windpipe was impaired. So. But you will hear that song soon. I'm like, Tiny and I have been talking about taking another swing at it.
Yeah, so. I've gotten a lot of feedback about it because that's one of the ones I use a lot coming out of breaks, just because I just feel it's good for them. It just kind of suits it well, and a lot of people are like, "What's that song?"
That was a weird thing, I'll tell you, because when we tried to record it, Tiny took out this little subtle thing that I think was almost inaudible. But like I picked up on it and I used it as a vocal cue all through the song.
Yeah.
And like I was like I can't do it without it. He had to put it back in. So.
And Carlos wants to know too. So
yeah.
I hope they're talking about our song and not something to the chat room. But yeah, hopefully that will be recorded and released at some point. Jason Hodge says, "Nice. Barker and Gibson are two favorites."
Yeah.
So. There's a lot of certainly, influences, especially more Barker than Gibson in some of the other tracks, but there's definitely a lot of influence going on there. So cool. Glad you guys dig it, and hopefully that's one of my favorite songs as well. So hopefully we can get that out to you guys at some point. Obviously, Mars tomorrow is the big day.
Right.
Mars is going to have surgery, so. He may or may not be here for part of the show or all of the show next week. We're not sure because we just don't know what this is going to do to him. And do you want to talk about what's happening, Mars? I don't know if that's too...
No. They are taking out a part of my... So I had thyroid cancer, as you guys all know, or have thyroid cancer.
And then it kind of spread.
And it spread onto my trachea. And there is about a 2 centimeter space on my trachea, I believe, is the measurement. I'm not very good with numbers, as you all know, where they're basically going to cut that part off all the way around and stretch it down. And the first part of the surgery, I will be, the first part of post-surgery, I'll be spending a few days in intensive care with a temporary tracheotomy and air, actually. Like, I won't be breathing on my own. I'll be breathing with the assistance of machines. And then as that heals...
Speaking of William Gibson.
Yeah, right. As that heals, they are going to put a tracheotomy ring in to make sure that there wasn't any damage to my vocal cords or throat or anything like that. And that'll be like that for, I don't know, until they decide not to. And that's pretty much all we're waiting on to see if I show up at all next week. And then it will be a... then they'll just, he's gonna keep me in the hospital, whether that's 4 days, 5 days, 9 days, 12 days, until he is confident the surgery is going to, it heals, and it doesn't swell, and I can't not breathe, or you know what I mean, until they know that I'm not gonna die. Yeah. So and then they're gonna have to teach me how to eat. There might be some speech therapy, and that's where we're at. But if I can't talk for a little while, oh my God, it's annoying. I'll just come sit here. That's how much you guys mean to me. You guys being the listeners, like
not us.
The idea of me missing anything with how, you guys show up. The least I can do is show up in any, So, when I'm talking to you next week, and I'm fairly confident, knock on wood, that I'll be here at least for a little bit next week. I'll look like Frankenstein. So I'll have no beard at all, and I'll have 2 wires from my chin. Stitched from underneath my chin to my collarbone, so that I can't move my head very much at all. And like I said, I'm gonna be kind of a mess. But I am inspired by you guys. I am inspired to put out more music. I am inspired to visit the Cheddar Beach crew. I'm inspired to have my chats with Oily and Jakey, and the game and the game/podcast that I started rolling recently, and we're gonna fucking I feel like I have already started healing before the surgery even happened. Like I'm full of light and happiness, and as Slakoff would say, just the right amount of darkness and just the right amount of anger. And I'll peel back the door as much as I can without boring you with details. I've decided to use this as the pivot point to really change my life. A lot of things are going to be different from me coming out of this. Some of my choices going forward may not be as financially responsible, but I've learned over the past little while that you don't know how much time you have. Nobody knows. And you amp yourself up with all these obligations and thoughts and rules that you put on yourself. And the only rules that you have is to provide for those and the ones who love you, the ones who depend on you. And that's only if you make that, you make your choices in life. In the ones you don't make, you make choices to deal with those. And my point is that you're the only one who's in control. You're the only one who, can make it go. And there's a Peckinpah quote from Peckinpah film, and it's all I've wanted in my life is to walk into my house justified. That's a paraphrase, obviously, and I've been only in this part, and in my amazing special lady friend, have I been able to walk into my house justified. I feel like I haven't been practicing what I preach and the other facts. And when I get off this table, my first priority is going to be Rock and Shock and making some more awesome things for that weekend, and trying to, finagle some more of you to really come and spend time with me, because, it'll take a lot. It took a lot for me to be there. So I really just want to hug as many people as I can and really rejoice and celebrate as many people as I can. And I want to be happy. And I don't know that there's much out there that can make me happy as doing this show with you guys and doing music and stuff and doing comedy with Kevin, and writing music with everyone, and everyone out there in the chat room, as both in coming out here and all the nice messages and gifts and hanging out and everything else they do, and all of my podcast brothers. like all that stuff. I don't know that there is a quantifiable happiness to that, but I know that it doesn't have to be I'm fucking happy now and I'm fucking miserable the rest of the time and I'm unhappy the rest of the time. I know that there has to at least be an in between, and I think that there's probably, you know, I just haven't been myself, and I think anybody will know me will know for the last 3 years. Now I think there's a reason that I haven't been myself. You know, like I've been around a lot of death and pain and sick people and everything else, and that eventually, whether you realize it or not, I think has worn on me and took me down a little. But you know what?
Yeah, hard not to.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm inspired by my special lady friend, and I'm inspired by the Deadites and all you guys and everybody out there in TV land. And I'm certainly inspired by, you know, Bill and my podcast brethren. And you know, like, I'm going to make some changes in my life. And I have to thank everyone who I just mentioned for that, because you lead by example. You know, and you don't just, you know, like you Julie Meow Meow, who's a new friend, just the stuff that she posts is so fun and witty and like really seems like she's, you know, like, I mean, I guess, you know, maybe I do sometimes too, and I'm not, but really seems like she's happy and having a good time, and you know what I mean, appreciating the weird world that we live in, and Cornelius, and so many fucking people reach out all the time, and it's like, I just like, I'm going to enjoy this, you know, I'm going to enjoy myself, I'm going to be happy. Michael Ravenshadow has actually been a big inspiration, because he really, like, you know, took a turn and really has turned his life around. And I'm going to make, you know, it's not going to happen overnight, but I'm making those changes. You know, maybe in 6 months I won't wake up, you know, I won't sleep 2 hours every single night because I'm having, you know, maybe this is too personal and maybe not fun, but debilitating nightmares. Like the people that I was in Long Beach with probably noticed that I went to bed, unless I passed out, at the same time or after everybody, and was out of the room before everybody else woke up every single day. That's because I was having terrifying nightmares all the time, every time I sleep. You know, like, you know, I was doing sunrise by the fucking pool every single day, and I was on Massachusetts time still. So, like, it's just not a way to be, and I'm not going to be that way anymore. I'm going to practice what I preach. The Deadites music is about fighting and being positive and fighting the monsters in your life. And I'm gonna fight them all. I'm gonna fight those monsters. I'm not gonna just decide that I'm 40-something years old and I guess that I've made my lot in life. It's Tiny just said it to me in a chat window. It just opened up and said it's never too late. It's never too late.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do that. And I just want to thank all of you for making that happen. You know, like I am blessed with all the dead. I mean, when I joke and say that Michael Ledger is my mentor, that's not because he's, you know, a phenomenal writer or you know, he's successful in his field. That's because he is a person that was in similar places that I am, that has overcome constantly. And, you know, like, I am just so proud to have so many great friends and so much stuff, you know, like, so, you know, this time next year, maybe I'll be in a fucking weird, transparent horror movie house with Jakey drunk off my ass on a Tuesday, chatting with you guys. But you know, like, it's you guys. When I get off this hospital thing and can sing again, it's you guys. When I turn my life around and make everything awesome, when I get married in not too awful long, it's because of you guys. And there's an open invitation to each and every one of you guys in the chat room, and thank you. So thank you, Wolfie. I didn't think I was going to do that, but I feel better now. I feel like there's a weight off my chest, because it was, I didn't know how I could thank a group of people so big, you know, and from so many disparate factions, I guess, that all somehow bleed together. But I think the easiest way is just to say thank you. You know, like fucking Reverend Scott, like, just piped in today, and just, I was thinking about it. Like, I don't know what that guy's day-to-day thing is, but I don't know that he knows how much he inspires me with, like, how funny he is and how talented he is. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to make sure that I play it forward in both compliments and actions. And that's all because of you guys. If you're in the chat room right now, if you're listening to this, if you're one of the people who, you know, we know you're out there because you're a figure, you're a number that you listened to this show or a past show at some point, like, thank you.
Well, it's. I think it's awesome, and obviously I'm going to support everything you want to do. It sucks that this is the catalyst for making changes, but you know what? Like sometimes it takes shitty things to show you the good things that you have. Right? You need that balance, of the good and the bad. So you've seen the worst of the worst in the last couple months, and it's kind of shown you to value what's really good. And it sucks that that's what was the catalyst, but I think that's a great attitude to have. And I don't want to speak for everyone out there, but I will and say that I think everyone's rooting for you, and we all want you to come out of this stronger than ever before. And in the chat room, Carlos says, "You're a warrior, Mars."
Thanks, man.
First time Mike says, "All good thoughts with you, Dynamo, my friend." And Corny says, "You're welcome, Mars."
Yeah, I'm not gonna have anything bad happen to me until I can make out with Coop again. So. Yeah, like the G1 tournament is something different for me.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's gonna be good.
And first time Mike says, "Much love, my friend."
Thanks,
Cecil
man.
says,
Thanks.
"Choose
Thank you.
Choose life." Well said, Dynamo.
It's true. I had said on the show a while ago, and I came across it, that if I died tomorrow, and this is partially true, I had a pretty fucking good run for the fat kid from Shrewsbury that couldn't sing and has a learning disability and can't write. Like I've published writing. I've opened for my heroes, and I've wrestled in the ring with some legends. Like I'm lucky. And I'm self-aware enough to know that there was something I had that got me there. Though I've never been able to quite quantify it. But it took losing other people I cared about, and other people I cared about being in jeopardy. That's what scared me. But then I realized, well, that's something broken there. That, like, how good am I to them? If how good am I to Jakey and Yuri, who are phenomenal to me, and all my tremendous friends, and you guys, and everybody. If I how can I help Sheetsy if he's having a bad day if I don't give a shit about me?
Yeah.
So, and it made me realize that I gotta fix me, and I'm gonna fix me. So, and what I hang my hat on is showing up here every single Wednesday and laughing and having a good time. And you guys are a huge part of me being here right now. Whether you don't talk, or you participate, or you don't send voicemails, or you send a million voicemails, or like I agree with you or I don't agree with you, or whatever else. Like you're and I just love you all so much.
Well, it's super, super sweet. Jason says, "Mars, you need to drop in and do more reviews with the Cult of Muscle Boys."
I literally think that they've Katie barred the door, because like I wouldn't like I'd show up every single week, so.
All right, so we got a few voicemails, not too many this week. I think we had like 20 something last week, so we'll have a much lighter week this week. We'll take it easy, just play a few voicemails, and then we'll kind of wind things down a little bit. Oh, before we do that, actually, one thing I did want to say, I neglected to mention, because we had so many big things going on that, and we didn't kind of shill our shit in the intro, but we do have a new T-shirt available on the Trick or Treat Radio website. If you guys go to trickortreatradio.com and then go ahead and click on the link that says store, and the first thing you're going to see on the top left is the new Deadites T-shirt. Well, it's not new. It's new to the website. It was one we released last. Was it a Rock and Shock, or was it just? Oh, we had a Rock and Shock, didn't we?
No, they didn't show up.
Oh, we were supposed to. Yeah. That's right. They were supposed to, but we got them for the Halloween show.
Yeah, very typical Deadites, making a movie and our merch doesn't show up.
So we do have. That's why it wasn't available, and we wanted to keep it kind of like it was originally going to be a Rock and Shock special, but we had that issue of Rock and Shock that we decided to have it be the Halloween sort of show special, and then we decided to hold off on selling them for a little bit so they'd feel special for the people that were able to make it out. But we do have some available now, the Deadites 2020. So if you guys are looking for someone to run this fucking country, anyone could do better than what's currently in there, and why not the Deadites? So if you guys want a Deadites 2020 shirt, there are kind of limited. Right now, the inventory is limited. I think we have maybe 7 or 8 total.
Yeah.
There is small, medium, large, extra large as of the time of this recording. No double XL, unfortunately. I know some people have asked. But there is at least one of all the other sizes. So if you guys are interested, go to trickortreatradio.com, click on store, and go ahead and click on the Deadites 2020, and you can have it, buy it from there, and we'll ship it to you. So hopefully we'll have another one for Rock and Shock. Maybe we'll do a new design or something. So we're all trying to figure that stuff out. Tom C. popped in. He says, love you, Mars. Happy to call you a friend.
I'm real happy to call you a friend, too, man. I really, really am. I miss your mustache. But
I was going to say, I'm happy to call his mustache a friend, too. Yeah. All right, so let's head into some voicemail. And I apologize for not playing this one last week, but we had so many voicemail, and most of them were for Corando or for the 5 years. So I apologize, Nick, for not playing your voicemail. But I intentionally didn't play it so I could leave it for this week because, I wanted to be able to discuss the points of your voicemail probably a little bit more than we could have last week. So he talks about a couple flicks. So let's hear from Nick.
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio, Nick here. It's been about a decade since I called. So I thought I would. No, the real reason why I'm calling is because, I don't know, I haven't listened to podcasts in a long, long time. I was listening to Cult of Muscle for a while, and then I just stopped. And then I stopped listening to film review podcasts altogether, and I haven't gone back. Just because I needed a break, and I felt like once I finally got to the movies that they reviewed, I was like thinking of their review, and I was grading it that way, and I didn't want to do that. So, I don't know when I'm going to come back to listening to podcast reviews, or film review podcasts. I don't know. Also, I want to apologize to Johnny because I kind of pissed him off yesterday. I was talking to Tom and why I stopped, calling in to podcasts and stuff like that, and he got all mad. Not mad, just kind of like...
Oh, wait, dude, you didn't piss me off.
Clarified that I said the wrong thing, so I apologize, Wolfenstein. But no, I want to give some reviews on some films I checked out recently, and that is Kong Skull Island and Free Fire. Nice. Now, I've got to nothing into theaters. I've seen Wonder Woman and I saw Logan, and that's about it. I wanted to get to a lot of stuff, but I just decided not to. And I'll just pick them up on Blu-ray or if I'm interested or whatever. And that's what I did. So let's see. First, let's start off with Kong Skull Island. Now, I heard 3 reviews on this. I heard Film for Thoughts, and I heard CDR's. CDR loved it. Tom loved it. Joe thought it was okay, kind of shitty. So I was like, who knows? I ended up really liking it. I thought this was really fun. I like Peter Jackson's Kong Skull Island, I like Peter Jackson's King Kong a lot, and I actually graded it like an A+, but then like after watching this one, I gave this a B+, but I think I enjoyed this one more, so I'm gonna have to give that one a rewatch. This one was really fun. This one was... I'm probably wrong with this description, but I kind of felt like it was like a pulpy kind of King Kong, like more cartoonish, but like fun. Like he was huge. Like I don't know, he just had a great presence. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought the creatures were fun. This world was very cool. Yeah, I just liked it. Sam Jackson wasn't annoying like he usually is. He was tolerable. Yeah, and I kind of like that setup they got for the end credits thing. But we'll see. Who knows? I don't want to give anything away, but we'll see. They got me hooked a little bit. So that's Kong Skull Island. I gave that a B+. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a hell of a lot of fun. I want to watch all the special features. Excited for whatever they want to do next. Okay. Next, I picked up Free Fire. Now, I don't love this director. I know Ben Wheatley is like he's your Tarantino on this podcast. And I think he's okay. I thought...
He knows my Tarantino.
I didn't...
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think Tarantino is... I probably rep. I mean, we all love Ben Wheatley, but I think I rep him harder than maybe other people. But all right, continue, Nick.
See a Field in England yet? I didn't like Kill List that much. I thought it was a little boring. Took a little while to get to the thing, but I still thought it was okay. Free Fire, I really liked. I really liked this. I mean, this is. I recently watched Heat for the first time, and I kind of and I said there was the gunfire in Heat in the middle of of Los Angeles busy highway or whatever was amazing. This movie was the whole movie, and it was awesome. I really enjoyed this. I thought this was funny as hell. I got to rewatch it again because I just trying to catch all the jokes and all the sayings, and this was fantastic. The few Ben Wheatley films I've seen, this is my top from him. I have not seen A Field in England, but just with with my sensibilities of film, I don't think I'll love that one too much.
I don't think so.
But so far, this is number one for me. I give this an A-. I loved it. So, yeah, that's kind of all I got. This is running long, so thank you for playing it. And maybe I'll send more. I don't know. I'm an idiot. Bye.
I love to hear from you, man.
Yeah, Nick, do whatever you want, man. Like, we love when you contribute. We love when you check out the shows. And, we weren't bullshitting when we called you the Trick or Treat Radio historian because you knew this show better than most people. And it's better than us, yeah. And you helped us immeasurably when we put together the greatest hits, volumes 1 and 2. So, but I also totally understand when you need a break. And I will never, ever take personal offense if someone's like, hey, sorry, I can't listen to your show. I got to take a break. Like, to each their own. Like, I purposely tell people to go check out other podcasts. And if they don't come back to us, sure, that sucks. But if they found something that resonates more with them, then that's fucking great. Like, that's what it's all about. Like, I don't want to hoard listeners or hoard people. Like, I want them to go out there, experience new things, and find what you love.
Right. If you listen to, and I can't imagine, like, this just seems like some weird backwards thing to me. Like, it wouldn't be that way. But if you found Talk Without Rhythm because you heard El Goro, raising the real estate here.
Yeah. Which we should have him do that again soon.
Yeah, that makes me happy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, not only am I a firm believer that show transcends the medium of what he thinks it even is.
Yeah.
I love that dude like he's family. So if you find something because of us, and I mean, certainly at least in our peer group, the cup runneth over, right? It's a spoil of riches.
Embarrassment, yeah.
Like there's just if you just listen to us, Jakey and my spirit animal, right? That's 6 hours of your week.
At least.
6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
So, like, it's a lot, and then, you add a Bill and Chris or an El Goro in there, that's like a whole day. So, like, like, I get it, man. I get it. And I go through phases where if you asked me 6 months ago, I would tell you that I have no time for like 1 hour, a 90-minute podcast. But it's G1 season. So I've been listening to more Mick Garris and like Jim Cornette shows because like, they're shorter. I get it. And I'm on the other end, man. Like, you don't need to apologize to us.
Yeah.
Where you've been I'm thinking specifically of Blood Drive, so maybe not everybody will get the metaphor, but you're what makes the engine run. So we get it, man.
Absolutely. And Jason just made a very solid point. Yeah, it's impossible to keep up with all the great content, he says, and absolutely, there's just no way. And I know, like, for me, I have a 45-minute commute to work, so I can like get some pretty good podcast listening in there. It's sometimes hard for me to do it at work. But, I listen to it in the car all the time. That's almost all I listen to, and maybe the occasional, like, most people out there probably don't know, but I'm a big baseball fan. So listen to some baseball games, stuff like that. But
a show had to stop Like you guys took a break. Actually, the baseball show took a break at one point for me to be able to start listening to like one of my friends. Mark Sheet started Paranormal Punchers.
Yeah,
and I couldn't I couldn't listen to that until something else had stopped.
Dropped off.
You know, So like, I get it, man.
That's why more podcasts should do seasons. And just real quick, checking in the chat room, people were commenting on Nick's voicemail. Jason says, Kong Skull Island was a blast. It is what I want from a summer movie. Straight up, colorful, pulpy fun. Cecil says, Kong Skull Island for those Apocalypse Now diehard gamers.
Yeah, no shit. Huh?
And let's see. Cecil says, I don't know. I'd rather watch Valerian, to be honest. And Carlos says, I think we're going to blind buy Free Fire. Cecil tells him, do it.
Yeah, do it.
And I don't know if you've seen any of Ben Wheatley's other work, Carlos, but I think it's the cast alone. I think is worth the price of admission. So even if you're not a huge fan of what's going on, I mean, the cast just fucking sells it, and it's such a fun movie. So I think especially if you can get a deal on it, like definitely, like I would say go for it.
Yeah.
And Carlos says, podcasts the longer the better for me. Helps me get through work. And absolutely, for some people that works great. Other people it doesn't work. Like MZ, you can't listen to podcasts when you work, right?
No.
Because you need to keep your ears free.
I do.
Yeah. So, and Raven Shadow can't listen to podcasts while you work, I imagine.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So you would get in trouble for listening to podcasts?
Well, yeah, because it's safety.
Needs to be able to hear. Yeah.
Just when they yell at you, just go, "That's racist."
Sorry, boss. It's been a revelation.
Yeah. Did you not know that I was 1% African?
Wow.
And then when if someone says "you people," now you got a.
What you mean, you people?
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ! And also speaking of Carlos,
now we can't fire him because of some affirmative action talk.
I'll get Louis Farrakhan on your ass.
Oh,
and Jesse Jackson.
Holy shit!
My peeps.
And just seeing Carlos comment, I know he's been talking about Friday the 13th. I bought Friday the 13th. Haven't played it yet, but I bought it because PlayStation had a sale and it was 10% off. So I figured I'd pull the trigger.
Ooh, I've been playing and fighting Jason Voorhees in Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He that game's fucking awesome, by the way.
Speaking of, I would like to get that eventually as well. I did pick up Injustice 2.
Yeah, I think Tiny's on the ropes. By the way, I was showing him some like the system.
Yeah,
still expensive, but I'm like, there's some good games right now. Like I was showing him, like, for $20-$30.
Yeah.
So.
Like I picked up. There's a game that Michael Neal was raving about called For Honor. I picked that up on sale. It was half price. I got for $30. I picked up. I know it's 2 years old now, but Star Wars Battlefront was $11, like the deluxe edition, which was like like $100 when it came out, I think.
See, I won't wait for Injustice. I'm gonna get that right away, but I will now that I've seen the error of my ways. Wait for the new Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Because Mortal Kombat XL is the game, but it's got all the DLC,
right?
And it's cheaper than it. So like.
Well, and that's when I bought Injustice 2. I just bought the base game, but you can add the deluxe pack after to get all the extra characters. But I figured, like I just want to play it for now. Like having all the characters, I'm just going to play through one at a time probably. So
I'll get it as soon. I was going to buy another controller, but I realized I should just fucking spend that $60 on getting the year for online so I can actually
it's honestly,
play.
Yeah, it's not that much. Like, $60, and granted, like $60 is the price of a game, but it's for a year, so
as soon as somebody gets a game I have, I will. Like I like had it all queued up, and I was talking to Jakey one day, and I was like, I keep mentioning fucking Jakey. People think I want to fuck him some more. But yeah, like I like was like, do you have this game? Do you have this? Do you have any games that we can fight on the internet or like event? And he didn't have any. But once he does.
Wait till Fire Pro.
Yeah, you know it.
Wrestling comes out on PS4. Although I'm sure it'll be better on PC because you can add all the characters super easy, but we'll see.
Well, I mean, if the database is similar to the WWF game, I don't know if you were still playing that with me at the end, but it just literally had like an online marketplace where you could go and get other people's creations. So if the back end's like that, it'll be pretty
I'm just
easy.
saying that there's a huge right now. There's just a huge collection of people for the PC one, so they'll have to recreate them, I think. So, and Carlos says, "Sweet, I was going to mention it was on sale, but it was just a few bucks, so I didn't bring it up." And yeah, I keep checking it, Carlos. So I wanted to. I was going to wait till it was a little lower, but I just pulled the trigger. I just wanted to get it. So, and he also says you may be able to find a PSN for a year cheaper if you look around, Mars.
Really?
So, like you can get it on Amazon or other places. You get a card,
like a gift card, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you may be able to find it cheaper. So, all right, cool. Let's get to the other voicemail and let's hear from First Time Mike. I think he's going to talk about Kuso.
What's up, Trick or Treat family? This is First Time Mike. How's everybody doing?
Hey, buddy.
This is going to be my review of Kuso. I watched it because I subscribed to Shudder, and damn. Wow, what can you say about Kuso? It is the very definition of the cliche, a movie that's just not for everybody. That is an understatement. I've seen stuff from hardcore movie to highbrow trash, from Cronenberg to Kaufman. Kuso grabs you visually from the beginning and doesn't let go. It's a brutal mashup of trauma, naked lunch, weird anime, underground comics from the 60s and 70s, weird Afro-punk futurist lyrics, Japanese gore movies, and a fascination with bodily fluids and more boils than a Drew Friedman comic from the New Yorker. Did I like Kuso? That's hard to say. Kuso is sometimes more of an endurance test than a movie. Not because of the pacing, because the pacing's quick. It jumps around between stories, and there's a lot of visual mayhem going on at every moment. But several times I was looking at the clock hoping for the movie to end. Again, not because of the pace, but just because this is a pretty disturbing movie. And like I said before, I've seen some hardcore stuff in my time. My verdict for the movie is it's between a sugar-free treat and a tepid treat. This is totally not my cup of tea anymore, and even back in the day, parts of it remind me of crazier Trauma shtick, especially like Citizen Taxi 4 and some of Trauma's War, and that's not totally my... I don't begrudge anybody that likes it, but that's not really my cup of tea anymore for movie watching. But a lot of the mayhem was well produced, and the special effects were very interesting. I did enjoy the slam poetry at the beginning and end. I thought that guy was pretty good. But like I said, my verdict is a sugar-free to tepid treat. I wouldn't recommend this to friends unless you really know that you can either show them something weird, or definitely not one for some of your family members that like it, because I don't know if a lot of my family members would get this movie at all. So I'm going to go watch some cartoons right now to cleanse myself after watching this. This is First Time Mike, saying everybody good night to everybody, and Gunga Bong. That's pretty awesome. That's kind of fun. Let me do it one more time. Gunga Bong. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Awesome review, First Time Mike.
That's
that was very comprehensive. Way better than anything we did.
Yeah. And we had like 2 podcasts working on it.
Yeah, we had 2 podcasts in about 45 minutes, and we weren't as concise as you were. So really nice work on that. And
we should have played that first, and we could have like
we just shot the shit.
Yeah, we could have just piggybacked off of that.
I really appreciate you taking the time, though. And anytime, First Time Mike, obviously I'm pretty sure you know, but anytime you want to get your thoughts in on a film, always love hearing your perspective. And that was a really, really well done. And interesting that, based on the review you gave it, I thought you were going to give it a trick, but he ended up giving it the sugar-free to tepid treat. So we were kind of on the same wavelength there. And there you go. It's definitely a film that people are talking about. So, yeah, and Cecil said, great review. Absolutely, man. And, all right, we just got one just now from Tom C. So let's go ahead and hear from, by the way, Mars, he said he shaved his mustache.
I know, I heard.
Oh, okay.
I think I saw it.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know if we can be friends anymore, Tom C.
Yeah,
Sorry.
don't fucking play this.
Just kidding. All right, so here's Tom.
Hey guys, Tom C here. Throwing in a last-minute voicemail. It's kind of a really specific question, but I was just recently watching the Mad Max movies, and I was curious. I think most people who are fans of Mad Max love the Road Warrior, and nowadays you have a lot of fans of Fury Road, of course. But I was wondering, any of you guys who are fans of the Mad Max movies, what you think of the original. Personally, I think it's a decent movie. It's a good introduction to the world of Mad Max, but it obviously has its problems. It's lacking in a lot of ways that, say, Road Warrior is not. So I was just curious what you guys thought. If you think it's worthy in that film succession or what. So let me know. Thanks a lot.
All right, Tom C. Very interesting question, and thanks for sending us the voicemail. Do you guys have any thoughts?
It's very underwhelming if you see it third, like I think most people in our generation did.
Yeah.
Because they all, Mad Max and then Thunderdome, which is has a little less teeth, we'll say, than the first two, like
bigger over the top.
Yeah, but it's also PG-13, I think.
It's
so,
different, yeah.
So it's not as it's not as exploitation-y. So I do love it, but it's not. I don't search it out as much as the other ones because I think the second one is the perfect balance of the first one and the third one, which I guess makes sense, but it's still sleazy and Australian exploitation enough and still bigger, than the original. One thing I did learn real quick from watching Not Quite Hollywood recently, where is I think James Wan and the other Darren Lynn Bousman, is that his name?
Yeah.
I think they're both Aussies. I could be wrong about that, but the fucking whole crux of Saw is in one of the final kills in Mad Max, where he changed the guy he handcuffs him to the axle and says that it would take you 20 minutes to cut through this handcuff with this hacksaw. You could probably cut through your leg in 10. Like it's all like right there, like, which I thought never fucking once crossed my mind.
Well, they fucking stole that. Yeah. Well, it's funny. I think I probably saw Thunderdome the most just because it was on cable a lot back in the day.
Yeah, that one was on the most. Yeah.
But actually, I don't know if you were there, Tom C, at the Samurai Night where we watched the original Mad Max, and I actually thought it was pretty brutal in certain parts, especially some of the beginning scenes.
Oh yeah.
When they take that the couple at the car, and both people have horrible things done to them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it wasn't like, think about that. Fury Road came out as a summer blockbuster, and it started with Mad Max, right? Which was like, the reason that is renowned is because because Miller, who everybody, if you watch Not Quite Hollywood, while he was making Mad Max, everyone thought George Miller was a fucking asshole.
Yeah. Because
he was shooting everything so different than how these like big bombastic. I mean, Australia is known for its kind of car chase porn, even almost as much as like the Eurocrime stuff. Right. So, he shot that fucking movie. And it's a legend now. Like, everybody kind of tries to shoot like that now.
By winging it, by just doing the storyboards, right? You just kind of.
Well, I highly recommend the documentary Not Quite Hollywood.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff in there that because a lot of those directors went on and actors went on to do things, but like its technique belies the fact that it is. You're right, another sleazy Australian exploitation film, not any different than, maybe a little better than like Turkey Shoot, but not, not quite as pretty as maybe Razorback, like it's so like it's, just it outgrew its lot in life. But again, it's from that thing. We saw Fury Road in a fucking movie theater. Right. And then you go watch that.
Good business too.
Yeah, and you go watch some of the fucking deplorable exploitation shit that happens at the beginning of Mad Max. it's wild. The fact that they run down that lady with the baby. You know what I mean? Like that's like that is 4 films away from Fury Road. Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like which is not soft, but that was R-rated too, right? Am I wrong? But
Fury Road. No. Wait, which movie?
Fury Road.
That was rated R.
Yeah. So but I mean, I think Thunderdome is the only PG-13 one, and and that I think is that I think I actually will say I think that'd be a better movie if it was R, but it's fine.
But even like PG-13 back then was a little bit more
risque.
Yeah, it wasn't a little hard. You can get like some nudity in that.
Yeah. Back then you could get nudity in PG films.
It's true. Yeah.
Clash of Titans.
In the chat room, Cecil says original Mad Max is my fave. I love the crumbling society and the yellow interceptor cars.
Yeah.
Jason says, when the dude is chained to the car, the first Mad Max was a great entry to Road Warrior. Mad Max isn't the best, but it's important. They're in, Joe. It's an important film.
Yeah, it is an important film.
And Cecil says the bad guys in Mad Max for me are the best.
No, that
silly.
I will agree with.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I like Humongous.
Yeah.
Toe Cutter is good though.
Carlos says I love Not Quite Hollywood. Bought me a copy. And Jason says, speaking of Australian genre cinema, have you all seen Next of Kin?
No.
With Liam Neeson?
No.
Patrick Swayze.
Liam Neeson
I did see that. It's been years.
Yeah,
God
it's
damn.
been a long.
Yeah.
Well, it came out in 91 or something like that.
89.
89, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Liam Neeson, Patrick Swayze, Liam Neeson, Adam Baldwin, Helen Hunt, Bill Paxton, Ben Stiller.
Really?
Bill Paxton.
Are we talking about the same one? Maybe?
Michael J. Pollard. Maybe not. Maybe. Let's see.
That's
this is a Chicago cop, so maybe he's talking about another different.
Thinking of. I know what it is. It's kind of
John Jarrett's in the next 1982 film, so that must be it. Oh, interesting.
Speaking of John Jarrett, he's on set with Wolf Creek, the next series of Wolf Creek.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. The TV show. Next
of Kin from 1982 is 90 minutes horror thriller. Yeah, he says no, not that one, but I think he there's about a minute behind. But yeah, it's a horror mystery thriller. It says in a rest home for elderly people, a daughter reads her mother's diary. Soon, events that are mentioned in the mother's diary begin to happen to the daughter.
Ooh.
And Johnny Jarrett's in it.
I want to see both those movies.
He's in a fucking
Oh, that sounds interesting.
crazy crocodile movie that I forgot existed that I never saw, but always saw the box of. I want to. I think it's coming out in blue soon. I might pick it up. What you know what that is? The crocodile movie that he was in, not Rogue.
Rogue.
No. We're talking 1983.
Who? John Jarrett?
Yeah.
Well, I'll look it up. Jason, let me know if you
Dark Water, maybe a dark.
Jason, let me know if you dig that flick. I assume if you recommend it, you do, but let me know if you dig that flick and if it's worth checking out. All right, I'm looking for the other one, Mars. What did you say? It was
like in between 82 and 84.
The Naked Country was 85. The Settlement 84. Flute Man. We of the Never Never. Bluefin.
Nope.
We're back too far, I think. So
maybe it was a little soon. Maybe it was 86.
Dark Age.
Dark Age, I think it is.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That was 87.
Crocodile looks fucking.
Oh yeah. There's a crocodile.
Not very good, but
yeah. Jason actually he knew exactly what it was. He called it out in the chat room.
I mean, QT will get me fucking excited over any old shit, and I'll be pissed off at him afterwards. But like, it's just so good. Like, and again, I don't work for them, but when I rewatched Mikey Malloy's awesome Eurocrime documentary, you'd actually really like that, Raven Shadow. I was able to go on and on Prime find 10 or 11 movies on there that they had talked about. And Not Quite Hollywood, I was surprised at the amount of movies that I hadn't seen on my list of shame that I was able to go and find on Prime. It's where it's at right now.
And Jason says yes, it is a definite recommendation.
Awesome.
So
it's awesome to have you in the chat room, by the way.
Yeah, definitely. It's awesome having you in, man. He said Next of Kin, that is. Yeah. Cool. So maybe we'll check out Next of Kin at some point. It sounds pretty interesting. I know MZ is a huge Johnny Jarrett mark.
I am. Double J John Jarrett.
Alligators, you piss me off. All right, and we got one more voicemail.
1% North Africa.
You
piss me off.
All right, and this is from our boy Nathan Cotton Coy Vance Duke.
Appearing on the Cult of Muscle
Hey guys,
this week.
this is Cody. I just wanted to leave you a voicemail real quick. Firstly, Dynamo, I don't know where you sit on the surgery front, whether that has just passed or whether that is in the immediate horizon. But I hope things are or will be as well as they possibly can be. Keeping an eye out on Instagram for updates from you. Thoughts are with you and yours, and I look forward to hearing good news on that front soon. Kuso, I'm looking forward to hearing you guys talk about that.
More like asshole.
I kind of like it, kind of did not like it much at all. Yeah, rarely am I that split down the middle on a movie. But yeah, it could easily be an interesting conversation, or it could be a very brief conversation, and the show could wind up being, I don't know, 2 hours and 10 minutes or whatever. But yeah, interested in hearing what you guys have to say about it ultimately. Don't think many of you will like it very much.
Spoiler alert. That's very astute.
And lastly, it's a week late, but happy 5 years.
Thank you, buddy. Thanks,
I
bud.
feel like I leave a variation on the same voicemail every time you guys hit a landmark of note. But yeah, I'm glad to have found your show. My life is better with you in it.
Thank you. Us too.
We're glad you found it.
It's been I don't know, being able to count on like 3 or 4 hours of just white hot foolishness every Friday morning.
Oh, you're for a treat this week.
Yeah, and very beneficial for me and my general well-being.
I can't wait for you
thank
to hear
all
this week,
very,
Cody.
very much for that. Looking forward to listening for as long as you guys choose to keep it going, which I hope is, quite a while. Oh, you know what? If it's not too crass of a thing to do, I mentioned on Cult of Muscle this week that I will be walking in an Alzheimer's charity event in September.
Yeah, please, man.
There is a link to the event in the bio of my Instagram, which is ncodyn on Instagram. Any kind of donation at all, should you choose to make one, is very much appreciated. I hope you guys don't mind me plugging the thing.
No way, bud.
But I figured, I'd throw it out there. All right, you guys. Hope it was a good show. I will talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks, Cody, buddy.
Good luck, Cody.
Always love hearing from you, my friend. And I'm super excited to hear you on the Cult of Muscle. And yeah, please, if you, if any of you guys, any of our listeners, any of our friends ever have something like that, like something you want to promote, whether it's a new podcast you're working on, you did a guest appearance, you're raising money like Cody, that's fucking awesome. And absolutely, you guys are our friends. This platform is available for you if you want it. So thank you, Cody, and best of luck with that, my friend. I'll take a look and see if there's I'll look on Instagram and check it out. So best of luck with that, and thanks for calling in, bud, and thanks for the kind words. I'm holding. This is a fucking lighter, ladies and gentlemen. Raven Shadow just pulled this out. It's bigger than my phone, which is pretty big.
Pretty big. It's big. Yeah, that's.
So I don't know. What do you actually light stuff with this?
Yeah, man. I smoke buzz all the
smokes?
time. Yeah, that's my backup one.
This is your backup.
Yeah.
This is your backup. This is a fucking machine gun.
Tox, I might lose this.
It's hard.
It's hard. My shirt's black. This is black. Way to go. I don't know.
Oh my fuck.
But then I know I keep this one down by the bar.
The bar.
Yeah, my downstairs bar.
Yeah.
And
bar.
I know where it is. So I kept losing.
So
this
why do you
one.
have with you? Why did you take it out of the bar?
Because I thought I lost this.
Do you carry that in your pocket next to that fucking big ass wallet of
Yeah,
yours?
my combs.
God.
Jeez, it's like you got the property of Pee Wee Herman or something like
boombox. You know what? I'll tell you this. I love you, Raven Shadow, but you don't have to spit in a vial for me to guarantee you are more than 1% idiot.
I wonder what the 1%. Wonder what the big surprise would be on yours, Raven Shadow. You have any insight?
No, because I know what I am.
I am's what I am.
I am's what I am. No, I'm predominant
Predominant.
Italian.
The predominance.
On my mother's side, my maternal side.
Maternal.
Mud-ternal?
My maternal.
Maternal.
You're supposed to round. Because you round to the maternal side, that's what's official, your official rankings. And unlike Monster Zero,
rankings.
yeah, I do have a little bit of Iroquois. And then
are you sure?
Yeah, sure.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, where the fuck are we?
MZ thought he was Native American. He is not.
No, it's true. We had a story about a descendant that came to the States in a bad time, hit by a car. It was rough. Yeah.
I thought that it was like from like 200 years ago, but then he got hit by a car.
All right,
it was a bad time. You went through the time tunnel, so he got mowed down by a Buick Skylark.
MZ is going to turn into a pumpkin soon, so...
Turn into a blunkin.
He's going to turn into a blumpkin.
I was disappointed. I thought I had to get up... I could get up at a reasonable time tomorrow, but no, thanks to the fucking atrocious Boston traffic.
So you originally thought you were going to have to leave early, and then you thought that you could stay, but now you actually do need to leave early.
Yeah, because the fucking Boston
in the morning,
fucking torn apart.
But you never ride set up because it found out late.
And that's fucking legit too. We encountered that on Sunday going to the rock show.
Yeah. They said add 90 minutes. Great.
Yeah.
Dicks.
In the morning, yeah.
Yes, that's 2.5 hour ride.
Yeah, add 120 minutes.
Yeah.
Matt Pinfield.
Jason had a nice comment. He said, "Dudes, this is my first time watching live. I love your show, but it's a completely different experience when taking part in the conversation. Y'all keep doing what you're doing, and Mars, keep your head up. It'll all turn out great. Thanks for having me."
Buddy. Thank you.
Yeah, I had actually thought it was your first time, Jason. I don't recall seeing you check in before, but yeah, absolutely, man. It is because you get to feel part of it. At least I hope so. And you had some fantastic comments, and definitely next to kin. I got to check that out based on your recommendation. So I appreciate it. And anytime you can hop in, every Wednesday night we're here, man. 9 p.m. ish to midnight ish. Eastern Standard Time Wednesdays, so we love having people come hang out with us, and it's just we just want to have a party. It's just like hanging out at the Denny's table, as Raven Shadow likes to say. All of us just kind of shooting the shit, hanging around a table, and if you guys feel a part of that, then we're doing our job.
Bill would have been at that fucking table of everyone we know.
He would have made fun of us the fucking worst of all.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that's going to do it. We need to end things here, and I know Mars has a busy day ahead of him. MZ's gonna get up in like 3 hours, so I think we're gonna end things. But we'll be back next week, hopefully with Mars. But there's a possibility if he's still healing up that he may not be able to make it. So we'll see if we can. I don't think we can find anyone to fill your seat, but we'll find someone who can, pitch in here and there. So
yeah, well, I can't find anybody to fill my seat, but you can find somebody to do much better. I'm gonna leave. I know you didn't call on me, but I'm going to leave Monster Zero just in case I can't say it again. I wanted to say it for a long time. I'm going to leave Monster Zero with one of my favorite bits that one of my heroes said.
Yep.
Hey, MZ.
Yo.
Would you? Can I smell your dick?
What?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, that must be your feet then. Thank you, Bobby Brain Heenan, for all the inspiration.
All right, and let's start saying our goodbyes, MZ.
Arrivederci, you douchebag.
Raven Shadow.
Mars, good luck tomorrow, brother.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. You've inspired me, which is true, to do things that are better.
I hope so.
For myself, and I've got some bills that are coming up as a result. Turns out, false positives in my quest for compliance is very expensive.
I guess so.
I actually feel worse trying to take care of myself. But no, thank you, and you my noogie. So we'll see you on the other side, brother.
Oh, he's your noogie now.
I guess. Well, the changes I need to.
Don't encourage.
This is gonna be. We're sorry, Corny. Live fast, love hard, die with your mask on.
All right, before you say your thing, Mars, Carlos says, "All right, everybody, you all have a good night. Mars, keep fighting, brother." And then Cecil says, "Great show tonight. Stay strong through the traffic, Mars."
Yeah. I was gonna. At one point, I didn't drive. A New Hope drove, and she doesn't smoke.
Probably a good idea.
And she was like, "Oh, you want to smoke?" I'm like, "No, it's fine." But at one point, like,
bring some gum with you.
I don't chew gum. It's bad for you, man. Sugar.
Nicorette.
I don't chew gum.
Vape, man.
That's fucking bullshit posturing.
Don't be Big Van Vapor. Okay?
There you go.
Show title locked.
Yeah. But no, she was like, "Oh, do you want to?" I almost like I could have gotten out because nothing was moving. I could have actually got out and like sit and just on the off ramp.
Right. Just you could have walked next to the car.
I really could have. I could have. I'll catch up when we move there, but I got paranoid. I don't want to be on like a fucking viral video.
It's time. It's time. It's vaping time.
Darth Vapor.
You're a vapus, MZ. All right, Marsman.
Serial vapus.
Yeah, I don't have a oily file this week, but I did. He'll probably be disgusted with me, but I did watch the new Jack Reacher movie.
Yeah.
And those movies aren't as good as those dumb movies aren't as good as those dumb books, but I did enjoy it. So check that out. And remember, children, wherever you go, there you are.
And last thing, first time Mike says, "Night, guys. May all good things go your way, Mars."
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it for episode 262. Thank you to everyone that tuned in. We appreciate Bill swinging by and hanging out with us for a while. It's always a blast to hang out with Bill. Go check out Outside the Cinema, and also check out the teaser for Survival of the Film Freaks if you haven't done it yet. And we'll be talking to Bill again in 2 weeks, so stay tuned for that. And next week, we're going to review Trent Haga's 68 Kill. It's available on VOD if you guys are interested, so go give it a watch and see. And thanks to everyone who tuned in live. It was awesome having Jason in and all the rest of the awesome fucking people hanging out with us. We appreciate you guys so much. Thanks to everyone who contributed, and also thank you to everyone that listens to the podcast. And we got a really nice spike, and apparently Tokyo, Japan loves our show, which fucking blows my mind. I don't know what's going on, but must be the Kurando connection. So, but we got a ton of listens out of Tokyo this past week. So,
nice.
Thank you to everyone, and we appreciate you guys so much and love you. And we'll see you next week when we review 68 Kill. So we'll see you guys then. See ya.